فإن الأمر غير وكرون أمر غير يا عيني يا عيني يا عيني يا عيني
فعلا يطلع من تشيكن دينر مزار بيحاول ياخذ الفرصه هنا على ثور يا ولد يا مزار الرخ يغادر المباراه وايضا 4v1 بالنسبه لتيم دورد في باتر.
Well, wassalamu alaikum, bienvenue, and hello and welcome to everybody. We are getting ready to hop into day number 3 right here in phase number 3. We are so close to seeing exactly who is going to be locking in the spots moving into the PMGC, of course, as we saw in the title and the description as well. Of course, the thumbnail, that the race for PMGC is almost over, so things are getting pretty contentious. And of course, well, moving into day number 3, we are going to be stepping into a nice bit of balance, right? We are going to be playing 1 Sanhok, of course, 2 Erangels and 2 Miramars. But what makes things so exciting moving into day number 3 is the fact that we have 2 back-to-back Erangels and 2 back-to-back Miramars happening. And of course, we are going to be kicking off the proceedings with a little bit of that Sanhok action. Now, we've been seeing these teams grinding it out quite a considerable bit over these previous 3 phases, right? The first 2 days of phase 3, as well as all the hot and sweaty action we've been seeing come through from phase 1 and 2, respectively. But today, we're going to be seeing what these teams can do. Of course, as we know, moving into this phase, we've also kind of shuffled up those groups to see where the teams are going to be finding themselves, how they're going to be playing it out. So excited to see what bit of contention we are going to be having here. Of course, RUKH, they've been popping up quite a bit. But, well, let's get back into the format. As you can see, we are currently still within that league stage. We don't have any super weekends. All it is just all 20 teams playing their way through the 5 days. And, of course, they are going to be playing through their 5 matches per day as well. Well, 4 teams, or 4 maps per squad, rather, per group. And then after that, we are going to be proceeding over into the finals. As we know, only the top 16 teams are going to be allowed to participate. So there is going to be quite a bit of a race, quite a bit of a chase to see who will be those teams to secure themselves within the top 16. And now currently looking at what we have with regards to the points, with regards to the overall standings, right? There's currently not that much separating at least the teams within that top 16 slot, right? Looking at the teams anywhere from around about 14th down to about, well, let's say maybe 9th, 10th position, somewhere around about there. There is still quite a bit of contention coming through. And all of that is going to be determined within these next few days, the next few matches, to see exactly who is going to be the teams capping off that top 16 to ensure that they get their way on through. But, of course, before we even get to that, we are going to be looking to see who our top 12 for this phase will be to make it over into our bonus map come day number 5. But in the meanwhile, right, the only way that the teams can ensure that they do get themselves into those positions is by utilizing our point system. First place being worth 10 points. And then, of course, from there, it trickles all the way down to that 9th to 16th position, which are unfortunately not going to allow them any placement points, but they can still make up for that by utilizing the eliminations, right? 1 point being awarded for that. And we've been seeing some pretty aggressive plays, some pretty aggressive strats coming through as well. If you remember, we had one of our teams securing themselves double-digit elims, but unfortunately no placement points, right? Now, also what comes in as a bit of a bonus here for this phase is the share of bonus points. So based on the placement of the teams at the end of the phase, they will be awarded bonus points based on that. So the team finishing up in pole position is going to be walking away with 20 points. And of course then, well, whoever finishes in 20th position will be awarded 1 bonus point for this phase. Now we do see there's a bit of a race continuing onwards, right? As we know, these bonus points, that is what the teams are going to be taking with them over into the finals. So that could potentially really give them quite a bit of a head start. So this phase, at the end of phase 3, we are going to be giving points based on where the teams find themselves, but also based on the overall standings. So they'll have double the opportunity to just lock in those points. And of course, once they make it up into the finals, that is where they get to add even more to the tally here, more to the bank, as they will already be securing themselves $1,300 coming through just on this league stage. And then in the finals, they can add anywhere from $5,500 up to, well, down to rather $500 in addition to that. Of course, MVP as well as the most winner chicken dinners will be worth an additional $1,000 apiece. So there's always so much for these teams to play for. And, well, it allows for quite a bit of contention to come through, as these teams are going to be locking heads, stepping into the battlefield here today. Of course, we'll be taking a look at exactly our map rotation to get a good idea as to where these teams are going to be venturing in towards. And of course, speaking about the teams, here are our groups. So we got Group A starting on the left-hand side, Group E all the way over towards that that right-hand side, right? And this is where the teams find themselves for this rendition of the phase. But as we know, match number 1, Group E are going to be sitting this one out. So they're going to be having a little bit of a break. They'll be joining us only from match number 2, pushing all the way through to the end of the day. But then that also adds on to the rest of the squads, right? Group A, they're going to be playing match 1 all the way to match number 4, and they are going to be missing out on that last game. But, you know, we got to keep it even, we got to keep it balanced, and we got to challenge these teams as they make their way through. This is league stage after all. They are playing for the slots to not only move into the finals, but from the finals, we know that there's only going to be 6 teams that are going to be moving forward into the MEA Championship. Now, starting the day off with a little bit of that Sanhok action is going to allow for the teams really to break a lot of the ice here. We've had a day break, so we could see quite a bit of an adjustment coming through with regards to the performances. Looking to see who's going to be the one to lock in the optimal play. Speaking about optimal, look at that, right? So for Group E, they're going to be happy with the double Erangel, double Miramar. And, well, Group A, they are going to be having the opportunity to play a bit of Sanhok, 2 Erangels, and only 1 Miramar. So I think it's going to be quite a bit of a play here. As we know, our top performer, right, with regards to the map of Miramar, is in Group A. So they are not going to have the opportunity to play double dose of that. So I'm curious to see whether or not any potential upsets could come through from that. Of course, as we also they know, RUKH, as we saw a little bit earlier, they are in Group E. So they are going to have a pretty exciting day, right, with 2 back-to-back maps coming through. And I want to see what kind of consistency they'll be able to build up moving through this, because so far they have been performing quite well when it comes to the map of Miramar. But then also looking at their Erangel action, there is a great opportunity for them to try and fix that as well. Now, speaking about fixing things, right, let's take a look at our PMGC points. As we know, the race is almost over. Now, we're trying to see whether or not there is going to be any potential opportunity for any overtaking to come through. You can see our teams now locked in from 13th to 20th place. Was progressing a little bit further up the board. The World of Battle just getting a slight little bit of a gap ahead of the players coming through there from the side of XENON. Now, if you remember XENON, they've been bringing in quite a bit of a play already, but this is where it matters. As you can see, RUKH Esports and FALCONS, there is a 107-point gap between them. So whether or not the FALCONS are going to be able to secure that PMGC slot, it seems like it might be up for grabs. But as we know, nothing is, well, given until it is 100% given. But I got to like the fact that FALCONS are sitting on a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4. I love it when the numbers just work out. It works in with a little bit of that OCD as well, right? Nice few patterns coming through here. But we got to see what the effort, what the play is going to be coming through from the side of RUKH Esports. As we know, the race isn't over until we hit the end of the finals, right? Because we are going to be adding those bonus points on top of, or the final points rather, on top of the league stage points. So there are several opportunities for the teams to continue to try and strengthen that lead potentially, but based on what FALCONS might have been doing so far, they've been proving to be quite a formidable force, and it's not going to be that easy for anyone really to catch up with them. And yes, I can see Jahat noticing that hand is in 4th place. Yeah, we've got some interesting shifts indeed coming through as the teams, of course, continue to lock in points, to lock heads, and show us exactly what they can bring through for this season of the PMPL Africa. But, well, having taken a look at all these things, right, that means that we are just that little bit closer to getting right down to the action to see exactly what is going to be happening as we step into our first match of the day. Of course, as we know by now, it is going to be straight into Sanhok. So I'm curious to see how much sweaty action we are going to be having come through in the jungles. Of course, the big team that we are going to be looking at here today is going to be the side of RUKH. As we know, at least for the phase, they've been bringing in quite a dominating performance. They've been able to secure themselves a very successful run over on day number 2, 72 points in total, and that of course resulted in 42 eliminations. That is what we're seeing on the right hand side. Now if we compare that to the first day, RUKH weren't necessarily playing as aggressively, but it seems like they found momentum exactly where it matters, and now they've been able to just brute their way back into contention. Gotta love the type of gameplay that they are bringing through here. And of course, well, as we saw also, things are looking pretty exciting with regards to those league points. Now, if you weren't exactly able to calculate that based on the PMGC points that we were seeing, RUKH, they are currently locked into 3rd place on 380 points. So that does open up a bit of an opportunity. Of course, they are trailing by about 81 points behind RUKH Esports. And of course, then the players coming through there from FALCONS White. But that is going to be a story for another day, right? Looking to see whether or not they can catch up. But 100 points behind FALCONS. Now, that is the gap between first and third place. So quite a bit of a play that we've been seeing come through here. But who knows? Maybe today could be the day which we see a continuation of these upsets now to come through. I'm very curious to see whether or not the RUKH are really going to be honing their efforts into these last 3 days to secure themselves within that board, and of course potentially also looking to add a few bonus points, because currently RUKH sitting on only 29 bonus points that they've been able to accrue over those first 2 phases. And as we know, there's going to be a double dose opportunity to come through here, right? So the team's really going to try everything they have within their capability to get themselves right to where they need to be. Now looking at a quick head-to-head coming through between Fivo and Tome, RUKH versus the side of +18. You can see those damage figures sitting pretty high. 8,130 versus 9,209. But Tome has been able to secure just 2 more eliminations. But Fivo securing themselves 2 more assists, right? So a very interesting breakdown to see. It does show us that Fivo really puts quite a bit of emphasis on causing carnage. Now it is, of course, a nice bit of an assist there to come through if those bits of carnage can get converted into eliminations. As we know, at the end of the day, that is going to be the important part, right? Because the teams need to try and add as many bonus points as they can, add as many total points to that board. And of course, it is going to result in quite a bit of a contentious play. Now, we don't exactly see an award coming through for the most damage, but we know that there's an MVP as well, right? Are those assists or knocks? I believe those are knocks. I would say those are knocks coming through there. I mean, either knocks or assists, either one, right? As you know by now, my Arabic is not that up to par, but that's why I'm doing the English broadcast, right? Otherwise, I would have been over on the Arabic end, doing it over there. But yes, so far, things are looking pretty contentious right now. As we've said, today is back to a little bit more balanced, and we are going to be heading into Sanhok, so great opportunity for a team like FALCONS White to try and show a little bit more of that dominance, as they've been essentially doing that over on the map of Sanhok, right? Securing themselves 3 winner chicken dinners, 113 total points with 73 eliminations, 13 ahead of their closest competitor. Now, that, of course, being RUKH. RUKH sitting with 60 eliminations up, but RUKH, well, they're not going to be venturing out onto the battlefield, at least not for the first match, right? Another team that we're also keeping a very close eye on, well, there we go. It's going to be the side here of the players from FALCONS White. As you can see, their performances also across the board. Very interesting to see what they've been doing so far. I mean, just in the first 2 days of this phase, they've been able to secure themselves only 15 eliminations. In comparison to what they were doing previously, they got themselves a grand total of, well, 27. Now, that, of course, is the result of the first day. So I'm curious to see whether or not they are going to be able to pick up the pacing here, because they are sitting on 42 total eliminations, which is essentially our 4th highest out of all the participating teams so far for this phase. But what is seeming to be a little bit of an issue here is for FALCONS White to more consistently secure themselves a finish into the later stages of the match, right? When they're trying to essentially get in on top of those placement points, because looking at placement, I mean, yesterday, day 2, right, 2 days ago, they were only able to secure themselves a total of 3 placement points for a grand total of 18 in just 1 day. Now, that is quite a bit of a surprise, right? As we know, FALCONS White, quite a formidable force, quite the team once they restart swinging them bats around, right? And yeah, if you compare that to what they've been doing over on the first day, it is quite a stark contrast, because the first day, they were the dominating team. Now, let's take a look at their stats that we have here as well. As you can see, Psych, Puncher definitely going to be carrying with regards to those elims, as they've just been stepping up. We've more specifically been seeing Psych really just ripping it up in day number 2. Of course, you can see the damage being a great result of that as well. 29-13 coming through for Psych. Puncher secured on 21-02, but also then with those 9 eliminations for the team. So essentially, if we look at this, it is going to be 27 across the board, right? So 9 plus 9 plus 9 equals 27. I just had to double check my facts here to make sure that I'm not saying the wrong things. Now, that, of course, was the performance that they brought through on the very first day. Right, now, as we saw, day number 2, a little bit of a different situation. So I'm curious to see whether or not Falcons White are going to be looking to kind of rectify that moving into today's proceedings. Of course, they've got a beautiful map to do that on, right? As we've already mentioned, Sanhok is a map in which they are feeling very, very formidable. So I think this could be the opportunity now for Falcons to bounce back even stronger, maybe try and solidify their points within the standings. And who knows, right? Maybe they could be making a run for top of this phase, because looking at their current phase positioning, they are in sixth place, but they are tied on 60 points with XENON as well as Greedy. And well, so far Falcons, for this phase at least, they've not yet been able to secure themselves a winner chicken dinner. So I'm curious to see whether or not they are going to be able to pull that one off. Black Hand, they are currently sat all the way in 8th position overall within the overall standings. For the phase, Black Hand find themselves currently in 11th place, and yeah, that's where they are. So the 4th that you were looking at, that was with regards to PMGC points, right? That is what that was. So yeah, Black Hand definitely sat in 4th place with regards to PMGC points, not with regards to League or the phase, right? As I've already mentioned, that is where they find themselves, right? 8th and 11th. So I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to bounce back as well. As we know, they've been putting in quite a bit of effort. They've also secured themselves a 4 winner chicken dinner so far. So maybe today could be that opportunity. As if you recall, back on day number 1, they got themselves that chicken over on Sanhok. So who knows? Who knows, right? Maybe we could be in for a bit of a surprise here. Of course, they are going to be playing this match. So, yeah, let's see whether or not that is going to be the opportunity for them to do exactly that. Of course, you can let us know on social media as well. Be sure to include the hashtag PMPL Africa. You can hit us up on Facebook as well as on YouTube, where you are watching both of those platforms. We've got TikTok as well as a little bit of that Instagram as well. So be sure to hit us up and let us know your thoughts and what you think of the performances of the teams so far throughout this entire event. Now, speaking about the event, it's almost that time. We're getting ready to see exactly what Sanhok is going to bring on through. So you got any thoughts, any predictions, anything in particular that you want to share with regards to the outcome of match number 1? Be sure to let us know. And just a quick reminder again, right? Group E, they're not going to be playing this first match. So that is going to be RUKH, as well as Superpower, the Vampires, and the players coming through from XENON. So we'll see what they are going to be having for us. And of course, just how sweaty this jungle is going to be. Now, speaking about Sanhok, we are going to be looking with regards to where that first initial zone is going to be going, right? Sanhok, flight path, it doesn't matter all too much. What is going to be a little bit more prevalent here is, of course, well, exactly what that zone is going to be doing. Now, sometimes we see a little bit of an interesting shift coming through with the zone. Sanhok, not necessarily a map that gives us any super aggressive shifts. So far, it seems like the map has been behaving relatively well. So I'm curious to see exactly what that zone is going to do and how these teams are going to be looking to get themselves situated moving through this. But of course, then another team that I'm going to be keeping an eye on is going to be Miramar Esports, right? If you remember back in day 1 of this phase, they also finished quite strong in one of the matches there. But I want to see what their pacing and momentum is going to be moving through this. Of course, with regards to the overall standings, they are trailing with a few points. They are 6 points away from hitting 100. So let's see, maybe we could have them accomplish that goal, accomplish that target right here today. And speaking of which, it is almost that time, right? So if you have thoughts, now would be the time to share them. If you know who could potentially be winning this first winner chicken dinner of the day, let me know. Hit us up. In the meanwhile, we'll wait to see exactly what that flight path is going to be bringing in. Now, my predictions with regards to Sanhok, I think we are going to be looking at potential something maybe coming through from Falcons. I expect maybe even Black Hand to bring a bit of a surprise in. And, well, without any further delay, let's hop straight through it. See what this flight path is going to be giving us. Of course, now, well, as we know, we just need to wait to see exactly what that zone is going to be bringing in, as we do start up in Bong Nai, heading, well, all the way down to Bantai. But is that going to be enough for a bit of an upset to come through? Already right out of the gate, it is going to be Smash and Arab Golden heading down in towards Camp Bravo. And it seems like the players there from Special are going to be getting themselves situated down in towards Camp Charlie. We had Castle Black also just with a very wide spread in and around that quarry region. 77k, very similar, but instead focusing a little bit more on towards Pai Nun. Falcons going to be going for a position up in towards the lovely ruins. You can see Black Hand wave, kinda. And of course, then the players there from Jack Digger getting themselves situated over on towards that northwestern island. Greedy, beautiful setup up into Paradise as the zone does lean over on towards that northwestern edge. Now this is the opportunity for Black Hand to set up a bit of a play here. See if they can maybe bring in a bit of that potential contention up towards the bridges. Maybe locking into the mountains. Of course, all will be revealed rather in due course. But here we go. Alright, so Falcons just on the edge of zone, so they are going to have a very, very comfortable time, at least looting up, getting themselves situated. Of course, at any point in time, you are curious as to what the leaderboard is. Just turn your eyes to the top of the screen. You can see the live leaderboard now currently running right over there. Alright, so Greedy with a nice setup here. They've been having a relatively decent performance so far. Looking at the side here of Greedy, of course. I mean, we know that they were at least able to secure themselves at least one winner chicken dinner on Sanhok. So I'm curious to see whether or not they're going to be able to try and replicate that yet again. They've, of course, also been finding themselves at least 26 eliminations and 19 placement points for a grand total of 45. This map is called Handhawk today. Yeah, and the most supporters, they would call it Mohawk, right? I do like the ring of that Mohawk. It just sounds so nice. Let's see what these teams are going to be bringing through. Still, it is going to be that looting phase, so we also don't have any hot drops really coming through just yet. So it's going to take a little bit of time until we find our first little bit of contention coming through. Virtual Gaming Squad, beautifully set up into boot camp. We do also then have the players there from RUKH Esports just coming through from this eastern side. Now, if they proceed right down this road, they are going to be rotating right into the middle of Virtual Gaming Squad. But, of course, they are not going to be doing that just yet. Instead, we could maybe see RUKH Esports opting for the hills. Trying to get a bit of Overwatch. Begin to play a little bit of that elevation. 77k also now, I think, with a very interesting position down in towards Spy None. As we know, Spy None, at times, does serve as a bit of a transitional area, moving from that east to western side, and vice versa. But looking at the positioning that we have with the teams towards that more southern edge of zone, right? We got World of Battle, we got Special, we got Castle Black. They could potentially come rotating up into this region. You've only seen one Mohawk since the season started. Hey, I mean, once is enough, right? That's all you need. You just need one Mohawk. Mohawk is one of those timeless classics. Right, speaking about timeless classics, there's gonna be perks. Getting a little bit cheeky here from Jack Digger, sneaking up alongside the wave, but you gotta watch out for Petrox. They have that high ground advantage. There are no perks for perks. If they get spotted out. I'm not quite sure as to whether or not Wave is aware of this current positioning. Oh, but now they know that there is a snake in the grass. Someone hiding somewhere. It's a great opportunity now for Perks to bring in a bit of a surprise. Oh, never mind me. RUKH sends out the nade. Does overshoot ever so slightly. But Perks now got to be very, very diligent here, because if they do get a little bit too cheeky, not only can they find themselves in a bit of a sweaty play up against Wave, but we could also see Mo Esports on the opposite end of the waterway looking to get a little bit of action going. Well, Jack Digger, they are here. They are meaning business. You can see Melas pushing straight up into Petrox. So very swift reactions coming through from the side of Jack Digger. But now Perks still going to be locked in on the front line. Danzo could potentially come in to try and fortify the angle. But this is a very, very bold and so far successful play coming through from Jack Digger. Look at Jihad hitting us with fancy words. Speaking about magnitudes and such. Welcome, Jihad. If you guys are joining us in the chat, give us a bit of a wave. Tell me who you are here to support. In the meanwhile, well, we'll support a little bit of carnage. Let's see who's going to be the one to find the majority of it. Is it going to be Jack Digger? Is it going to be Wave? Gaddafi needs to be very, very careful. One wrong peek could maybe spell a bit of disaster. Interesting to see Danzo not fully committing to this fortification. Instead, they're going to be keeping themselves a little bit more distance. In the meanwhile, down south, so you can see that feed, things are going to start to cook up. It's going to be Special Esports going toe-to-toe with a World of Battle. So far, they've lost their first player. So we've said goodbye to 2 so far. But it does seem like Special are going to be looking to capitalize on this opportunity. Instead, looking to prioritize that zone positioning as we now patiently await our second phase. And where is it going to take us? Well, it is going to be nicely centered up now, right here onto Wave and Jack Digger. Oh, but we do see a little bit of something cooking in from that western side. It's going to be Black Hand. Moving up through the mountains. They could look to leverage a bit of position. Up comes the sprays from Mo. Finding their way up in towards Nellas. That could maybe be the case. I think Koa... I don't see Koa on the map just yet. We got Mazzaro, Keme, Plaza, and Storm currently out on the field. At least on the side of Black Hand. But I like that play coming through from Mo here as well. Reaching across the waterway. Just reminding Jack Digger that they are not as safe as they think they are. But of course, also then the addition of Black Hand coming through on the edge. Oh, that could be a nice topping to add to the extra bit of excitement we've already got going here. We do see Smash Team trying to go for a rotation for some odd reason. I just noticed that on the map. But let's see what is going to come through here. As Wave, so far, they've been pretty successful in upholding quite a bit of a defensive angle. Ooh, alright. Falcons, they've also now decided to swoop in behind Black Hand. Wow, quite a bit of a play being made. So we've got quite a bit of contention now starting to build up, especially down towards the southern half of the zone. In the north, the proceedings are also starting to heat up, as we can see +18 clear vision. Finding each other up in towards Koa. Cow. There we go. I'm not quite sure how I'm missing words. Oh, but in the meanwhile, Jack Digger still doing the dance around the block. Oh! There we go. Perks finds Rex. 1 down, 2 more to go. It's a great shift in gears coming through here for Jack Digger. But now, well, time is quite limited. They do have Virtual Gaming Squad also now looking to descend down upon them. So they don't have the luxury to do a lot of movement. They're going to have to focus on this engagement. They got to try and wrap it up. And now that is exactly what Jack Digger is trying to do. Oh, Gaddafi coming through with the DBS. Oh, double whammy. It is now a 1v1, and, well, Gaddafi getting a little greedy. That does result in them getting spotted and picked up. GREEDYFORKILLS also now got to come swinging on through. As we do say goodbye to Jack Digger, of course, got picked up first. Down to the final 14 we go. Smash still going to be trying a very, very wide rotation. They started all the way on the eastern side of the map. Wrapping all the way around, trying to get themselves secured up into this position. How did Storm get knocked? Well, as you can see, we got the Falcons right there alongside them. So that is exactly how it happened. The Falcons swooped in behind them. Getting a beautiful jump in on the side there of Black Hand. Speaking about jumps, it is going to be Castle Black and 77k. Finding each other right there down into Trifecta. Of course, we got RUKH Esports now taking occupation of Bootcamp. But as you can see, still A very interesting spread coming up towards the northern edge, with yet another knock finding its way over on towards Mo. We've got +18, Arab Golden, and Clear Vision also hanging in the wing. Keme getting traded. Black Hand now down to a 2-piece. Falcons really playing quite a bit of an upsetting play here. Clear Vision also going to be losing one along the way. Ooh, there we go. Van Kid is down. Let's see what is going to be happening on the edge of zone. Arab Golden now adopting quite a bit of a spread here. They do have Clear Vision. Just puts it in between them. There's going to be Vito in one shot. Not quite sure how Clear Vision are going to be looking to get themselves out of this one. There's going to be quite a bit of contention and a very risky play. But big ups going out to Arab Golden. Great utilization of the available space. $77K also now finding a bit of an angle down on towards the world of battle. As everyone is just trying to cram themselves up in towards the zone. Oh, but there we have it. One shot, getting that one shot they need down on towards Arab Golden. Has now resulted in a 1v2. Vito are going to be feeling that heat come through. Blue Zone is going to be eating away at their health bar. Let's see if they're going to be able to get themselves patched up. But now it's going to be Team Mon. Riding on the edge, breaking down doors, breaking down barriers. If just they held onto that spray a short moment longer, we could have seen a takedown come through. Oh, beautiful nade coming in, and that is Timon with a near effortless nade to seal the fate here for Clear Vision. Out they go, one elimination up in 13th position. Down to the final 12. Oh, +18, finding themselves a little bit of Mo. Vortex gets dropped. Now it's up to Pedro. Oh no. Oidos míos. Down goes Pedro. And Mo Esports also getting shipped out with one elim up. So you got the World of Battle and Black Hand now reduced down to 2 players. You can see Black Hand still caught in quite a bit of a position here alongside the Falcons. The World of Battle out there sipping on a bit of blue juice. Maybe they could play a bit of an upset. Maybe just distract the sign here of Falcons long enough. So Mazzaro Plaza now really have to change up the approach. Seems like the initial play, the initial plan, not necessarily going according to the way they would have wanted it to play out. Let's see if they'll be able to make the necessary adjustments. In the meanwhile, there's going to be RUKH Esports now trying to get themselves with a bit of a setup here. Overwatch now being played by Eugene, while Pusher goes for a bit of a swim. Rami following them through the drink. Smash, they've been doing so much work trying to get themselves secured into zone, only to get beaten down. As not only the blue zone is eating away at their health bar, but they've also now been reduced down towards night. So Ban, unfortunately, I don't think is going to be making it any further. +18, Arab Golden, RUKH Esports all now on the edge here. Mason a little bit further up towards the north, as Arab have instead decided to go for a little bit of a 2-2 split. Oh, and Mason are getting pressured. Oh, there we have it. They did find Nagato in the process, but now it's going to be default here for RUKH, having to drop down into the drink. The zone is going to be forcing their hand, and they now have to rely on Rami and Push, or Pusher rather. Just on the opposite side, Escanauto. Yeah, very, very difficult spot to play off of here. But Eugene is not going to mind. Instead, they are going to be stepping up, locking in a bit of carnage, a little bit of mayhem. And see if Escanor can survive the nade. But firstly, we need to see if it will reach. It does overshoot by quite a bit of a margin. And that is, of course, then going to be the end of the road for Arab Golden as well. Only 10 teams remain. RUKH only now with 3 eliminations up. But Eugene has to decide between the water and a potential elimination. Of course, there's much more safety on the opposite end, as we can see that zone getting ready to pop. Special Esports, nice setup, holding on to a little bit of hard cover there. Same can be said for Virtual Gaming Squad, and both teams can now look to just utilize all that coverage, as the Falcons in hand will have to move on down. And this is now the chance. RUKH Esports first got to drive themselves out. But once they do that, they have a play, have the chance to maybe apply a little bit of pressure onto the side of 77k. It does seem like 77k focusing a lot more of the efforts further down in towards the zone. So there's a great opportunity now for RUKH to just sneak up behind them. Zone also about to make its way on through as Greedy comes rushing on forward, getting the jump in behind Virtual Gaming Squad. Hulk now trying to lock in a bit of a defensive strat. Oh, Delhop. Oh, gets the hits. DBS v DBS. And well, no surprise to see the DBS winning that fight. Delhop now having to defend the honor, but unfortunately it's going to be Virtual Gaming Squad just out-angling them. And with that, they get sent away. 3 eliminations strong. Falcons also now feeling quite a bit of the heat here. As you can see, Puncher having to try and fly down the top. But this could put them in a very, very vulnerable position. Mazzaro also very low on health. Yeah, they have to evade that blue. Smash at least finishing with a placement point to their name. It's a good attempt. Now it is going to be Plaza cooking up the nade. Is it going to find its way in? Oh, no. Oh, actually it does. But it doesn't really serve them much at this point, as we do say goodbye to Blackhand. Out they go in 7th place. And only 1 elimination. Unfortunately, not being able to replicate that previous winner chicken dinner. Now, RUKH Esports, one of the few remaining teams still left with all 4 players up. The only other team, of course, is the players there from Virtual Gaming Squad, who we see locked in on their hard cover up towards that northern edge of zone. But I think a big contender here is going to be the position coming through for Special. See those predictions coming in for RUKH Esports. 2 shoutouts to them. One going for the side of the Falcons. Let's see who will be the one to lock it in. Jeet currently being our, well, top damage dealer. That is still alive, right? Of course, Darkson locking in the most so far. But only 20 damage points difference between them. Eugene also doing quite a bit of work, but only 459 in comparison to the 705. Already secured there by Jeet. Now comes the play. Oh, Virtual Gaming Squad. They are going to be looking to breach. Oh, G-Brute. No, that could have been such a beautiful angle. But great plays, great strats coming through. Virtual Gaming Squad now looking to get hella aggressive. And that is exactly what they do. As they just beat down onto the side of Special. We've got 4 teams left. Falcons, unfortunately, not going to be making it any further. Virtual Gaming Squad now looking to go on a bit of a tangent. Bit of a rampage. Already 8 eliminations to their name. RUKH and the World of Battle sitting with 6 apiece. But there we go. The World of Battle getting spotted. And now it is a 4v4 to fight for the very first winner chicken dinner of the day. Both teams now occupying opposite ends of the zone. There's a slight bit of a valley in between the two, so that is why we are seeing quite a bit of this ridgeline utilization coming through now. I mean, RUKH Esports, they know what's up, what's on the table. They are going to be looking to close the gap with regards to Falcons, right? that ongoing PMGC race. But Virtual Gaming Squad, they are going to be looking to climb up the board. At least for the phase, they come into this match sitting with 52 points to their name. But now all has changed. RUKH Esports, they were in third at the start. But obviously things also continuously adapting as we add those points to the tally. So RUKH sitting on 74, 20 points behind RUKH. RUKH not here to defend. As you can see, Virtual Gaming Squad now taking quite a bit of damage. Fares, ooh, so close, but the consistency coming through there from default. Now it's down to Amjid. This is a 1v4, not the way they would have wanted this one to end. Amjid are going to try and make a run for it. But are they going to be able to dodge all the lead heading in their direction? This could be, yeah, and it is indeed a RUKH Esports winner chicken dinner, as they do secure themselves the victory. Very, very exciting start to the day's proceedings. Of course, RUKH Esports now trying to set a bit of a standard as to what we could be expecting to see in the remainder of the day. But there we go, 10 eliminations up and 1870 coming through with regards to the total damage they were able to find. And of course, only taking 637. A very, very interesting breakdown coming through there for the side of RUKH Esports. And well, what a way to get day number 3 up and running. But as we know, we are going to be taking a look at a few of our amazing highlights that we just saw in this last match. And of course, after which we are going to be getting into a bit of a breakdown, right? Take a look at the stats, see what the teams did. And of course, well, try and make a prediction as to what we could be expecting coming through for the remainder of the day. But RUKH Esports already off to a very, very great start. And of course, they did secure themselves those 10 eliminations as well. So let's enjoy the highlights. Well, there we go. Some very exciting highlights indeed. That was some great timing on the button push on that one. But you can see Damar saying that, well, it's going to be Rami taking the MVP slot here today. Well, we're going to see pretty soon exactly what the answer to that is. And of course, as we know, we are going to be taking a look at to see who our top performers are, what the match ranking situation is, and of course, what that damage versus elimination graph looks like, because we've been having some pretty strong efforts come through in this past match. But first up, we are going to be starting with our GOATs, right? It is going to be Pusher locking in the most damage, one of which has come through from a beautiful utility play. And then of course we got Amjid securing themselves greatest 905 damage. Pedro 385. Now that is very, very impressive, especially on a map this size, right? Miramar, Sanhok, definitely not that much of a range map to look at. So I'm not quite sure how Pedro got a lovely 385 meter hit, but that is very, very dang impressive. So maybe just timing a few of those leaves to perfection, right? Looking at the sway and then sending it out to get themselves that hit. But either which way, very impressive stats. But now we got to see exactly what the teams have been bringing in. Of course, as we know, this is Sanhok, right? A map that allows for quite a bit of aggression to come through. And as we know, it is going to be RUKH Esports then securing themselves that lovely 20 pointer. 14 is going to go over to the side there of Virtual Gaming Squad, the World of Battle, and FALCONS ending on 11 apiece. But of course, taking different approaches to get themselves situated on towards that. +18, of course, capitalizing purely on aggression. The same can be said there for Arab Golden, as that is exactly what both teams were able to find this time around as we load up that next page. We'll see very soon exactly where it is going to be taking us. All right, there we go. We are back. So let's see. Is page 2 about to pop on through? Erangel special, both on that 4. I mean, one elimination is a little bit tough at times, right? But at least the 3rd place and as we got there coming through for the side of, I believe that was special. And then looking at the rest of the board, right? Castle Black, the only team getting sent back without any points. Now that is a great start. Only one team. Ooh, that is quite in fact the start to the day. Don't even know what DK is saying today, but it is what it is, right? As we know, though, we are going to be heading into a little bit of that back-to-back action. So up next, we are going to be heading into 2 Erangels, followed by our lovely 2 Miramars to see exactly what the play is going to be. And of course, it is going to be that edition of Group E stepping in for their first match of the day. Now let's take a look at a bit of a head-to-head coming through between the World of Battle and the players here from FALCONS. Now, FALCONS not exactly having the kind of performance that they would have wanted to, still finding a very gracious 7 eliminations, but only managing those 4 placement points. But as you can see, the damage is there. Right, 1,098, just 2 shy of hitting 1,100. And of course, the World of Battle, 1 damage point shy of hitting 750. But a very strong conversion coming through there from the World of Battle. Very little of the damage that they've been able to cause has not resulted in a successful elimination for them. So that speaks as to what we could maybe see more of here, right? Who knows? Maybe we could see the World of Battle looking to bring in a bit of a play. Maybe that could be exactly what is going to be coming through here. Of course, there's only going to be one way for us to find out, right? We're going to have to jump into those following matches to see exactly what the teams are having for us. Virtual Gaming Squad, RUKH Esports looking at their head-to-head. As you can see, RUKH Esports, Busha picking up 5 eliminations. Amjid coming through with 4, and Amjid finishing on 905. Whereas Busha, also very consistent with the amount of damage they've been able to cause, and then still milking those eliminations out of it, right? As you can see, 556 up against the 5, but if we look at the rest of the board, it is going to be Amjid here, then locking in, as we know, right? Not only the most eliminations, but also coming through with those knocks, because he's sitting on 6. I believe that's assists, right? Again, my RUKH, not exactly on point, but it is what it is here. Mosta picking up the 3, and Hulk being able to just dip, dive, dodge, and duck their way around the aggression, only taking 165. It's a very exciting play going through from Hulk. Unfortunately, not getting any eliminations secured, but as we know, right, it's going to go some or other which way. So there's only going to be an opportunity for Virtual Gaming to try and improve those stats as they move through the rest of the day. Of course, now moving into, well, our next match. We are going to be having, as I've mentioned already, Group E joining us back out on the battlefield. So that is also then going to mean that Group D are going to be taking a bit of a break, right? So I've Golden, Black Hand, Clear Vision, as well as PLUSEIGHTEEN. They are going to be sitting this one out. Now, out of our teams taking a bit of a rest, Clear Vision, of course, being the stronger one out of that group, at least with regards to Erangel. So they'll have the opportunity to prove themselves come match number 3. But out of the teams that are now joining us back out of the break, getting ready for their first match of the day, I'm definitely going to be looking towards a team like RUKH potentially to see what they will have for us. I mean, Superpower also relatively close to them, but XENON, they actually secured themselves all the way up into 7th for the overall Erangel plays, right? They've got that one winner chicken dinner. Looking at the players from RUKH, they've also been able to find themselves at least one. So there is a very even spread coming through between both those teams. I'm curious to see what their play is going to be, right? Will we see them maybe convert yet another winner chicken dinner? Or is it going to be going some completely different other way, right? Who knows? Only one way to know. We're going to have to see exactly what the map will have for us. So if you've got any predictions with regards to what the flight path and Zord and all that stuff is going to be sure to let me know. I personally would like to see a very centered flight path. And of course, the zone, I think it's probably going to shift down south. We've been seeing quite a bit of this southern shifts come through. But honestly, I think maybe something that centers up towards RUKH, maybe ruins, you know, anywhere within that more central to northern area. I think that could also result in a very, very exciting match, especially looking at who we have getting ready to step out on towards the battlefield. And of course, well, speaking of which, It is almost that time. We are prepping ourselves now to see exactly. We do see Damar coming through with that committed RUKH Esports support. And, well, they are going to be playing this game. So let's see exactly how these teams are going to be faring as they get themselves ready to jump on down. And, of course, well, let's see what that flight path is going to have for us as, well, we're going to be hopping straight into that. So, without any further delay, let's get right down into Erangel. All right, here we go. So, based on what we can see, the flight path is going to be starting down on towards that southeastern side, making its way up towards the north. It's a decent approach. But now still waiting for that zone. So not exactly the centralized flight path I was asking for, but let's see. It is going to be a northwestern shift. That is what Damar is going to be hoping for. Of course, the big question is going to be exactly where that zone is going to be taking us. But let's take a bit of a gander here. Castle Black. Oh, it does seem like they are going to be the team essentially holding on to Sosnovka all by their lonesome. So did they just predict a big brain strat here? Or is the zone going to throw a few spinners in the works, at least with regards to their rotation? Now, FALCONS already getting them set up within that farm and Malta region. More Esports, they're going to be dipping all the way up in towards Lipovka. And now we wait to see exactly what the zone will have. Ooh, yes, sir. Does seem like Castle Black are indeed up to something. But now, of course, we wait to see how these teams are going to be looking to adjust their positions according to this phase. So this is a great opportunity now for Castle Black to look to bring in a bit of fortification. So they're going to have to loot up relatively quickly if they want to play a bit of that bridge camp play. Of course, that western bridge is also going to be wide open. In the meanwhile, oh, the Vampires off to a really tough start as Greedy just comes out of nowhere, gets to jump in, and well, it is what it is. Vampires actually taking a very wide spread. The rest of Vampires, of course, still situated all the way back up in towards Yasnaya Polyana. So that now leaves the opportunity there for 77k to see what they can do. Meanwhile, it is going to be a race down in towards the schoolyard. As Greedy now look to get themselves situated. Smash also finding themselves in a little bit of a play there up against the, well, Special. And this is exactly that contention over towards the bridge. It does seem like the teams have already been doing quite a bit of their homework, right? Quite a bit of that VOD reviewing. As already the tactics just in the first few moments of this match, and also what we've been seeing in that first match of the day. Already changing up quite a bit. Smash, as we can see, they've already been reduced down to a 3-piece. Meanwhile, it's going to be the players here from Superpower. Looking to maybe push all the way down towards that far southern side. They've not exactly looted up just yet. You can see White Boy here essentially only holding on to a pistol. So that is going to make any kind of defense, any kind of aggression a little bit more challenging. Especially if they have their eyes set on this bridge position. But Wave now going to be looking to camp the bridge. Jack Digger on the opposing side. So you could see yet another bit of an engagement coming through between both these teams. We've already had a little bit of that come through over on towards Sanhok. Oof, Castle Black locking in on Broly. So that is Smash now down to 2. Or not quite yet. They just got the knock. It's not yet a confirmation. Alright. Alright. Let's see what Jack is going to do here. Ooh, finding a bit of a play on towards Superpower. And this is exactly that situation. I said Superpower, they are going to have a pretty tough time mounting any kind of defense, right? At least Berlin is there. It does seem like they've got a weapon or two. Yeah, so they've got a shotty and an M16. Oh. But Petrox, yes sir. Spots them out and down they go, swimming with the fishes. So very quick reactions there from the side of Petrox. Now Superpower really having to change up that initial approach. You can see Jack Digger also now just moving away from the bridge. So both teams might now be opting straight into Ferry Pier. Maybe even going a little bit further. All the way towards Primorsk. But Special still having a really decent setup here. Oh, yeah, things are now about to get quite exciting as they are prepping themselves for a bit of a push. So they've essentially cleared the path, and now they can just very leisurely rotate across the way. As you can see, there's no one currently occupying that bridge. But they don't want to risk it just yet. Meanwhile, it's going to be RUKH Esports. Starting with a bit of a play up in Severny. Rami just doubling down on a few monsters before prepping for that push. Hey, what's up, Dylan? Alright, Ra'ad also out there sipping on a little bit of blue juice. And I'm curious to see exactly where Ra'ad is going to be looking to rotate up towards. I mean, the only options they have at this time is either down towards that southern island or somewhere within the vicinity of Farm. But there are still quite a few outlying teams in a very similar position as to them. So I'm not quite sure whether or not Farm and Malta could be the opportune place to rotate in towards, right? We also do have the Sixers and a few other positions scattered along that coastline. That is going to be open for the taking. But a great opportunity for a few interesting plays indeed to come through here. And Virtual Gaming Squad also not having anything to worry about at this point. They have the entirety of Pachinki to themselves. The only thing that could be a little bit of a worry is going to be that blue zone closing up. Meanwhile, 77k trying their hand at a little bit of greedy as both teams now have to make their rotations. Not quite sure where Morteza is going to be going. Well, maybe going back to pick up the rest of the squad. As Greedy instead will focus their efforts further down south. You can see RUKH, Ra'ad, XENON, Vampires all yet to find their way back in towards this phase. The same can be said, of course, for the World of Battle, as well as 77k. Jack Digger also just riding on the edge as the zone shifts down towards the southern edge. And again, Castle Black essentially finds himself smack dab center zone. So there's a great opportunity available now for the side they have Castle Black. The World of Battle. This is a very risky play out on the edge. But again, they are not going to shy away from at least attempting to get themselves situated here. They still have quite a bit of a way to go. As you can see, just around about 1.5 kilometers. But based on their current trajectory, they could be aiming towards that western bridge, which of course already is occupied by Virtual Gaming Squad. So there's going to be quite a bit of contention coming through. Now Mo, they're keeping their eyes essentially focused towards the east here. They actually have a very, very comfortable rotation. All the way from where they are situated right now, they can successfully and safely rotate across that bridge. Maybe looking for a bit of a setup in those compounds just as they crest the bridge itself. The rest of the teams instead are going to be focusing their efforts towards the western bridge. Ooh. Yeah, but hot on the heels here of RUKH Esports. And of course, just up ahead of RUKH is going to be the World of Battle. We've got Jack Digger, 77k, all just patiently waiting around. Virtual Gaming Squad, they've now taken the play and moved across the way. Oh, okay. But RUKH Esports, I think they could maybe potentially be the team to watch here. Right, they've been pretty proficient when it comes to Erangel, sitting with an immense amount of points. They are leading with like 60 to 80 points ahead of their competitors just on this map. Jack Digger also going to be looking to find a bit of a play here. Ooh, nice spray over towards Muhammad. Unfortunately, that red dot not exactly designed to play at that distance. As you can see, they're going to have to find some kind of a conclusion as the zone does force them to move even further down south. Oh, and this is going to cause quite a bit of mayhem, especially looking towards this western bridge. Mo Esports now just very leisurely strolling across the eastern part. XENON and RUKH finding themselves in a bit of a standoff here. Carry Boy got to be very watchful with these HP bars. Fortunately, they got a full quick med kit to apply there. So they are right back up to full health. Meanwhile, Greedy, they're going to be finding themselves potentially becoming the victims here of FALCONS as, well, the vampires and Greedy are now out in the drink, having a bit of a splash off. Blue is going to be eating away at their bars. Not quite sure who's going to be the one to survive the onslaught here, but FALCONS, they also can't really afford to spend too much time here as the blue zone is about to catch up to Puncher. We do say goodbye to Dalhop. Oh, the plays are in. Greedy getting a little bit cheeky. And of course now Puncher trying to sneak in a quick little bit of a trade there. They do find Hazard and that is the end of the vampires. Greedy now relying on Toxin to try and survive. But I don't see them beating the blue. Jack Digger, XENON, the World of Battle, RUKH, all still situated over towards that western bridge. Yeah, and as you can see, slowly, the blue zone is just having an absolute feast. Just devouring players all over the place. Alright, so Jack Digger is down. Greedy still left with only 2 players up. 77k. Just on the very edge of the blue. They've not yet found a good footing moving in towards the zone. Superpower rather on the meanwhile. They've been able to move over in towards just that more centralized portion. Again, some good visibility, some good angles. Let's see whether or not they'll be able to capitalize on the available opportunity. Smash, FALCONS also coming through on the edge. With some moves! Africa has FALCONS and Pakistan have I8 in PMPL. There we go, Tellen. Now what I'm going to be telling you is that the zone is getting ready to move up as well. Ooh, look at that. Shifting even more over on towards that eastern side. So now this is where it is going to be an absolute hornet's nest of spray downs coming through all over the place. So we got Falcons, Smash. We've got Mo, Castle Black, all over towards that eastern front. Ra'ad in the meantime, not Psych and Puncher are going to find that play to get themselves out of this blue zone. It's a game way as we started without you, and we also then at the same time say goodbye to Superpower and XENON. Ooh. Alright, the World of Battle definitely looking to pick up quite a bit of momentum, as they are only now left with Arthur. Things also looking pretty tough over on towards the edge here. Vortex! Wow, Vortex from Mo Esports actually ending one of our Falcons. And of course, the AMR coming out there as well. Oh, Elias! Nicely played as Puncher gets stopped in their tracks. Falcons going out in 9th. Castle Black again with a beautiful blessed position. Smacked up center. Meanwhile, things over towards the west looking pretty challenging. RUKH Esports now receiving quite a bit of heat over on towards the edge. But Virtual Gaming Squad, right, they still got to work their way through. A bit of contention coming through here from Special. I'm G'd a little bit late to the party, but either which way, they are still going to look to just bring in whatever reinforcements they can find. As Virtual need to head further and further in towards that zone. Essentially, they have to get out of this military base. So very wide scattered play coming through from Virtual. Taking that 3-1 approach with Fares not just hanging back slight little bit. Fajita also very isolated from the rest of 77k. But now it's going to be that play now onto Amjid. Oh, we got to watch out for the shotties. Ah, yep. Fajita gets it done. Oh, but look at the sprays. Beautiful bait and switch. 77k. Just devours the side of Virtual Gaming Squad. Most are still going to try and find a bit of reach, a bit of an opportunity. But the blue zone is going to severely limit their options. And still, they do find themselves sat up in towards this melee base. And now with the zone getting ready to move, yep. We can see it is going to be forcing that play a little bit further down towards the south. So whether they want to or not, they will have to move out. RUKH now going to be using the opportunity to get themselves a little bit further towards that southern side. Oh, yep. A little bit of action coming in alongside Wave. As you can see, Default and Rami getting ready for the charge. Eugene secured in the opposite building. But now it's going to be Default and Rami on cleaning duty. So Petrox, Gaddafi feeling quite a bit of the heat already. They have been able to isolate Eugene. So Eugene not necessarily in a position where they can relay quite a bit of information. All that much information over to the rest of the team. So there still could be quite a bit of a fighting chance here now for the rest of Wave. But in addition to that, we need to see Gaddafi much closer. Right, Virtual Gaming Squad in the meanwhile, they are going to be sent off. Only 2 eliminations up. Good nade. Let's see will Petrox find the follow-up. No, instead it's going to be the nade. Falling a little bit short. Fortunately, didn't exactly land on top of them. So we've got 3 of our teams pretty much just focused in onto the southern edge. The other 4 still going to be lurking and looming around on towards the northern edge. So we got quite a bit of separation currently within this map. So 77k playing down on towards Castle Black. Castle Black playing on towards Mo. So SAFG. Again, trying to make the most out of what they have. But this is a 1v4 now in favor of Mo. Elisio, they could maybe try and clutch up, find that spray in towards SFG. Oh, but it seems like 77k is going to look to maybe steal that from them. RUKH Esports and, well, then the players coming through from the side of Wave are going to be our two predicted victors. Castle Black, in the meanwhile, will have to settle for the lobby instead. So we don't have any teams currently locked in on 4 players. Everybody is sitting on 3 or less. Right, Smash on 2, Wave on 1, Special on 2 as well. Mo, 77k, and RUKH all locked in on 3 players on either side. But let's see the showdown between Mo and 77 as Elisio will be the first one down. Now Vortex and Pedro, they're going to pick up that torch and push on forward. See Knight firing in the direction there of Pedro, but now the zone shifting over is going to force the hand of Knight. They'll have to get off their high perched boulder there and rotate back over into the direction there of Ilias. The contention is still going to be holding on that southern front. Slight little bit of contention up north here. Morteza, Cacao, they're just going to be chilling. Just going to be hanging back, enjoying the scenery, enjoying the slight bit of tranquility. In the meanwhile, we can't say exactly the same here for the side of Special, right? They're going to have to try and make that play. But RUKH Esports now in a beautiful position to just pressure the living heck out of them. You can see Weiss. Oh, great timing here from Default. So both teams now having a bit of a tennis match. A bit of back and forth, a bit of this way and that. But Special, well, they can't really afford to spend too much time caught in a tennis match. They instead have to push forward. Potentially trying to contest RUKH Esports for a little slice of that zone. Fajita does find themselves Vortex. So now Mo, they are down to Pedro. Rami, Default, very diligent here. Just waiting for a bit of an opportunity. As they know, Special, they're running out of time. They're going to have to push on forward. Morteza coming through with a vehicle finish. Ramsey getting spotted. Oh, as they try to make the play. Default now just reading the zone, reading the situation. Weiss is going to fall to the blue. Good night. Down they go. Alright, so at least Special at managing to find themselves those 4 eliminations. It's not a bad finish. They also get a nice supply of placement points coming through as well, right? 77k though, they've been doing quite a bit of work. Already up to 9 eliminations. They've taken down Mo. Let's see what is going to be the plan, at least for Smash, as Knight is going to try and just get themselves a little bit closer to Ilias. If that nade from Morteza had connected up, that would have been such an insane play. But unfortunately, well, it is not the case. Meanwhile, we got Gaddafi here, the last hopeful left for the side of Wave. Patiently waiting on the edge of zone. Waiting to see where this next phase is going to be taking us, as we'll know in about 10 seconds or so. Knight is going to be playing a little bit of gravity over there. Already a much stronger play coming through from Smash. If you recall the first match, Smash only getting themselves placement points. Right, this time around, they are sat with at least 4 eliminations up. RUKH sitting on 8. So only 2 eliminations away from their previous match performance. Fajita now going to be testing the water, looking to see if they can find a bit of an angle. Maybe identify exactly where Knight is hiding. Ooh, alright. Now it's going to be a bit of a back and forth with utility. Fajita managing to evade that play. Morteza now looking to push on forward. Still, you got to watch out for Ilias just hanging in the wing. Ooh, there we go. One down. Ooh, Gaddafi. Gaddafi out there playing with a bit of fire. Right, just trying to keep that adrenaline pumping. But for Smash, it is now all down to Knight. Oh, that nade also almost bouncing right out of the screen. So a very good throw going through there from Morteza. We're yet to see what Kakao is going to be doing. Kakao just, big chillin'. Out there on the edge. Gaddafi now going to try and make that push. Oh, but instead is going to be Eugene to seal their fate. So we are now down to the final three. 77k, RUKH Esports and Smash. RUKH already sitting with one winner chicken dinner under their belt. At least for today. Will we see a back-to-back chicken come through? Well, based on their current pacing, that maybe could be happening. Cortez also doing quite a bit of work, as you can see them currently sat on 6 eliminations, ensuring that 77k is going to be locked in on at least double-digit elims. But how many more are they going to be able to find as default? Let's bring a bit of a halt there to Fajita. Morteza. Now going to have to try and play the quiet game. Oh, but Kakao springing into action. Good bit of a response. Knight, in the meanwhile, just going to try and keep themselves as far away from all this mayhem as they possibly can. G now going to try and see if they can get that res back in towards default as we do say goodbye to Smash. They go in third place, 4 eliminations up. Now, both our surviving teams here are sat on double digits. Right, RUKH on 10, 77 on 10. But who's going to be the one to walk away with those 20 plus points? Because whichever one gets the chicken right now is going to be smiling with an additional 20 plus points coming their way. Right, so we could either see 77k going for 3 elims, pushing themselves up to 13, or it could happen for RUKH. But based on what we've seen already so far today here from RUKH, they could have their eyes set on that extra bit of victory. I mean, 77k, they found themselves 5 eliminations in the previous match, being taken out in 5th place. So they could definitely do with a nice side order of points. But, well, now with Morteza, the aggressor, at least for this match, getting taken on down. This could be exactly that turning point that RUKH Esports now need to try and secure themselves the winner chicken dinner. Of course, 9th phase is about to hit. But here we go into the final showdown to see who's going to be the one to clutch up. Who's going to be the one to take it. PG now starting with a bit of strafing here, coming through on the edge, flanking around. Hoping to find Fajita. Fajita instead going to be sitting up top, smiling. Seeing as those nades have not yet been able to find them. But RUKH now playing a very clever play here, as they move themselves right up into center. So they know that 77k will have to move towards them. But a very even spread here from RUKH, as you can see, 4-4-3. If you look over onto the side of 77k, right, Morteza doing quite a bit of the work here. Kakao. Oh! Now the last one left as Fajita gets spotted. MG3 coming out. And there we go. RUKH Esports picking up a back-to-back winner chicken dinner. 10 eliminations in the first match, 13 eliminations in the second match. What a play though. Some very, very sweaty plays here from RUKH. What a way. I mean, 22-11. That is a pretty nice amount of damage getting secured there by RUKH as well. So far, it seems like RUKH Esports, right, they've been cooking up a little bit of something, right, just in that 1 day of rest. I mean, compared to how they were playing in day number 2, this is quite a different approach coming through from RUKH. I mean, the most chickens we've seen from RUKH Esports was 1 in between those first 2 days, and now they come into day number 3, and they pick up a back-to-back winner chicken dinner, securing themselves already, 23 eliminations just in those 2 matches. So RUKH Esports definitely looking to kick up quite a bit of a storm. But speaking about storms, let's storm on over into the highlights. Let's enjoy. Alright, so very, very exciting stuff indeed. A whole bunch of highlights to choose from, and of course, well, we can only look at so many of them. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting here rewatching the entire match all over again. But very, very exciting play, though, from RUKH. I mean, back-to-back winner chicken dinner, 20 total placement points, and of course, well, securing themselves a grand total of 23 eliminations. That is quite the bit of a force to be bringing into the day. But now I'm curious to see what RUKH are going to be doing, because as we know, right, once we hit match number 4, they're not going to be playing that match, so they still have quite a few games to try and build up as much momentum as they possibly can muster out here. And taking a look at the damage, I mean, they've been cooking up quite a bit of a play, coming through with 22-11 to result in their 13 eliminations. 77k also playing a much stronger play here, coming through from Sanhok into Erangel, just boosting their performance up. From where we saw only 5 eliminations, they doubled down on that moving into Erangel. So very, very impressive stats coming through from 77. And of course, well, 21-77, right? We've got Special also bringing quite a bit of a contribution. They 910 damage. And then Smash and XENON, very, very close with regards to the amount of damage they were able to secure. But also 1 elimination difference between the 2 of them. So a very top-heavy board coming through, with at least with regards to that damage, right? Leaning quite favorably in favor of 77k. And then, of course, the players coming there from RUKH Esports. But no surprise, based on the amount of eliminations they've been able to secure, it makes sense. But now we got to see what the momentum is going to be, whether or not a team like RUKH Esports can maintain that moving into match number 3, because again, right, we are going to be stepping right back into Erangel to see what these teams can do and what they can bring to the battlefield. But before we even get there, right, we're going to have to take a look at a few more things, right? We need to take a look firstly at the leaderboard, right? It is going to be 23 points coming through for RUKH Esports, with a lovely 16 points going over to the side there of 77k. And those are our only 2 teams sitting with double digits, right? Smash, Special only going through with 9 and 7 points respectively. But then we see Mo Esports coming through with 5 points to their name. XENON also with 5. All of which has come through only on that aggression. And I mean, that is essentially the trend moving further down the board here as well, right? The World of Battle, Greedy, Falcons, Jack, all of them just capitalizing on those eliminations. Virtual Gaming Squad still adding a few of those placement points in the mix. But Superpower, Raad, and the Vampires unfortunately not going to be in a position to lock in any points, at least not for this match, right? They still have the remainder of the day to try and rectify those plays. As we know, RUKH, they are going to be playing all the way through to match number 5, so there will be ample opportunity for that to come through. The same, of course, can be said for the players coming through there from Superpower, as they are both in the same group. But now, moving into match number 3, I'm curious to see what that approach is going to be, right? Who's going to be the team looking to maybe improve their performance coming through from the previous Erangel, the one that we just watched? Or could we maybe have already the victors, right, from the previous Erangel that look to just replicate those efforts again? Because, I mean, RUKH Esports, they're quite a force, right? They are quite a bit of a force, especially when it comes to the map of Erangel, sitting with 7 winner-winner chicken dinners. 2 chickens ahead of the players from the World of Battle. But as we know, moving into the next match, there's not going to be that opportunity to defend, at least not for the World of Battle. Now, speaking about defense, right, taking a quick look at our PMGC points here. Again, that race is still ongoing. As you can see, first place now being 898 points. But it is the top of the board that we are going to be keeping a close eye on, as we've essentially now come down to 77-point difference. Right, that is the difference. It was on 107, and now we've already closed the gap by 30 points. So RUKH Esports, if they maintain that consistency all the way through the remainder of the day, it could definitely set them up beautifully moving into day 4, and then of course moving into day 5, as they are going to be really trying everything they have to try and firstly catch up, but then they still have to surpass the side there of, well, FALCONS White. Speaking of which, let's take a look at the comparison here from 77k. That first match versus, well, the second match. Oh, no, rather, this is the previous day versus today, right? Last phase versus this phase. As you can see, already now 77k sitting on a very comfortable 15 eliminations for the day. And, well, 8 a little bit earlier on. So I'm curious to see whether or not they are going to be able to maybe increase that momentum even more so. Already just based on the performance that 77k brought in this last game, they were able to also then jump up 3 slots, at least for the day's points, right? All the way up on towards 23, where we find RUKH Esports sitting on a very comfortable 43. So those 2 chickens definitely going a very, very long way already for the side of RUKH Esports. But as we know, we are getting ourselves ready to head straight into match number 3. It is going to be Erangel yet again, but this time around, we are going to be having the players from Group D join us back on the battlefield. Group C are going to be sitting this one out. So Group C is Castle Black, as well as the players from Smash. We've got the World of Battle and Virtual Gaming. And then, of course, the teams that are joining us is going to be Arab Golden, Black Hand, Clear Vision, and PLUSEIGHTEEN. Now, is that going to bring a major shift to the potential outcome of this game? Well, we don't quite know, right? We're going to have to see exactly what these teams are going to be bringing on through. As we take a look at the flight path, it's going to be starting over at Primorsk, but it is going to be sticking towards the southern edge, as it only finds its way up towards Malta Power. So the zone can go one of 2 ways. Either, again, shift down to the south, or instead, maybe take a little bit of a more opposing shift, right? Up in towards the north, maybe towards the west, the east, essentially any place other than south. But let's see what the eventuality of that will be. So Castle Black, definitely not going to be dropping down towards that Sosnovka Island. Instead, it is going to be Black Hand looking to capitalize on the bit of vacancy available. Alright, so the zone about to be revealed. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, alright, so nice bit of an adjustment there. Essentially centering up just alongside Potato Hill. So Black Hand, they'll have pretty decent access moving into this next phase. Speaking about access, look at this. It is going to be Special and Clear Vision hitting it off right out the gate. Ooh, Vankid bringing a pistol to a shotgun party. Not quite sure if that is the approach to take. Oh, yep, down they go. Vito, one shot now in a position where they could potentially maybe look to come through with a quick response, but... yeah, Vito has come in with that shotty. So now they are back on even ground. G-Brood just patiently awaiting a bit of a push. Are they going to just vault out the window? Maybe push out the door? That's a clear vision also now, just again trying to bring in as much of the pistols and just as much firepower as they can muster on such short notice. Oh! One shot, beautiful hit up into G-Brood. Now it's relying on Ramsey. This is now that opportunity for clear vision, maybe to try get a quick one in, but they still got to watch out. As we do have a little bit of an off-angle play coming through. Ramsey, Weiss, the two final contenders. Vankid with a jump shot. Beautiful retaliation. Meanwhile, Ra'ad also finding themselves the vampires. But let's see whether or not Weiss is going to be able to survive. As Clear Vision have essentially come back with quite a bit of a vengeance. If Vankid hits this with a pistol at this range, I would be so impressed. Well, they could still get the hit up onto Broly. So Weiss now just trying to ride the edge. There we go, Vankid. One down, one more to go. Tap, tap. Bruh. Down they are, right? 3 quick and easy eliminations coming through. Now, Weiss putting themselves in the naughty corner, thinking about everything that they've just done. Right, but Clear Vision, they're not going to settle for that. They are going to sit back. They instead going to look to move forward and avenge any potential plays. One shot having a pretty good idea as to where Weiss could have gone potentially, but they're going to have to clear out that building to make 100% sure. Of course, we know exactly where Weiss went. In the meanwhile, it's going to be Arab Golden with a very comfortable play up into Pachinki. No worries, no troubles. All right, here we go. Yeah. One shot, Vankid. Oh, hey! Reading the situation, and there we go, following through, taking down the entirety of Special. So I think this was a very wise decision being made here by One Shot. Right, going back, getting the reinforcements, and then only starting to rotate up. You know, you got to have someone to have your back. Clear Vision with a really good team strat there. Well played, well played. Meanwhile, it is going to be Falcons. Still held up in the lovely Milta. We did have a quick sneak preview at the Saturday from Mo. We got them all the way over on towards Lepovka still. They are starting to spread themselves out a little bit more, right? RUKH, I mean, they've just gone to the usual location up in towards the lovely Saverny. Moise, I'm back! Yes, well, we're back with match number 3. About to hit stage number 2. But in the meanwhile, we are waiting to see who's going to be looking to take the plunge. Right, we do have something potentially starting to happen between Falcons, the Vampires, and Wave. As they are in very close proximity to each other. Within relative terms. We'll see if anything's going to come through on that end. Meanwhile, +18 now. Just looking to get themselves in a bit of a more favorable setup. Scanning the horizons, and if only they knew that 77k was just a little further off in the distance, I might maybe just stick around here a little while longer. Meanwhile, there's going to be Blackhand all the way down on that military island, enjoying the peace and tranquility. But they do have a few visitors here. They do have the players from Superpower just over in towards the Novorepnoya container yard. So, especially if they're going to be focusing towards that eastern bridge, they could have a little bit of company joining them right there. Right, so now we await that zone shift. You can see the northern portion quite vacant. So RUKH Esports, they're going to have quite a bit of flexibility. Right, they can look to get themselves positioned essentially kind of exactly where they want to go within the northern half. But I think the main question to ask here is whether or not they'll be able to replicate all the efforts from the first two matches into this. Right, will we see them go for the turkey? Will we have 3 back-to-back winner chicken dinners come through? It's not impossible, but it is going to take quite a bit of focus and hard work to pull off. In the meanwhile, it is going to be a whole bag of Skittles getting spilled up into zone. As you can see, the rest of the lobby now starting to descend. Hand starting their push across the bridge, looking to get themselves back on towards the mainland. The same can be said there for the players going through from Superpower, but both teams opting for different bridges, right? Hand going for the west, Superpower going for that eastern side. It could be quite a successful rotation going through on either end. 77k now just south of Pachinki. Ooh, XENON swooping in behind Wave. Arab Golden could be in a position where they could just sit back and listen to the cacophony of shots, but instead it does seem like Wave are actually going to be rotating up towards them. Alright, Mo Esports currently occupying a bit of the eastern side of Zoran. Oh, beautiful play on towards Wave as they do find RUKH, and with that, their first elimination. Arab Golden missing out on a bit of an opportunity there to get that elimination that just drove past them. But they still have the rest of Wave situated just to that southern side. So there could still be quite a bit of an opportunity of play here. Now, it's going to be FALCONS looking to jump and move themselves even closer to the Vampires. Yes, Black Hand, they started off in melee base. And they've only just now rotated across onto the western side of zone, utilizing the western bridge. And that's where they find themselves, along with the rest of the teams. RUKH Esports also with that double chicken dinner. Let's see where this play will be taking us. Superpower with a bit of a spread down south as well. White Boy, Unab, a little bit of a distance away from the rest of the team. But it seems like it might be serving them quite well, especially with White Boy now having that foothold secure. The rest of the team can now just rotate up. Plus 18 with a nice southern situation. Does allow them quite a bit of that ridgeline peaking. Meanwhile, it's going to be RUKH now doubling down quite aggressively on the side there of Superpower, but a bit of a helping hand coming through then from the Falcons. Ooh, RUKH Esports now up north, fighting for contention, possession here of Potato Hill. Greedy with a nice 2-2 split. To award them also quite a few angles to try and capitalize, but now, oh, Falcon swooping in on RUKH. Very quickly, just swooping them under the rug. At least RUKH managing to find themselves those 3 eliminations. So it's not exactly going to be the worst run for them. But Greedy and RUKH, oof, yeah. Feeling a little bit of that focus coming through. We still have Hardy there from Wave just hanging around on the back end. So let's see whether or not Greedy will be able to get the play. Maybe overpower the side here of RUKH Esports. I mean, based on their current approach, I think that could be exactly the plan. Ooh, nice. Nice, there we have it. Duxon finding the play over onto its default, getting a little bit aggressive. So now RUKH down to 2. Rami, Pusher, the last 2 contenders left. Really stepping up. Oh, here we go though. Pusher trying to lock it down, but instead they will fall down. As that now relieves Rami. Oh, with not a lot of options here, as they've now moved in between Arab Golden and MEA Esports. So moving from one sweaty position into yet another rather challenging spot. Falcons going to be swooping and just venturing around on the edge of zone. Jack Digger now maybe going to be trying their hand at Black Hand. With Perks and Camp on the front line. Pretty sure that they've already seen Keme right there. The zone instead is going to be moving a little bit further on towards the east. But I think it is very safe to say that RUKH might not be able to get themselves that third winner chicken dinner. They've not yet found any eliminations, and they are down to only 1 remaining player. Meanwhile, Jack Digger focusing quite heavily over on towards the side of hand. And, well, I think one thing that they might not have noticed is the fact that 77k has now moved in ahead of them, setting up a bit of a gatekeep. Vito with a nice play onto Rami, and that is it. RUKH Esports getting confirmed. Down they go. 14th place, empty-handed. At least, though, they have 43 points just out of the first 2 matches. A clear vision with a nice bit of possession on towards the southern edge. Are they going to be able to utilize that onto the surrounding teams, as the Falcons are going to try and test them? PLUSEIGHTEEN also going to be trying to lock down a bit of hard cover. But they have a bit of a potential angle now over on towards hand, and also then 77k up towards the north. Right, so hand now getting picked off as they try to just trickle their way through on the edge of the cliff. Keme, not exactly the most opportune angle to hold as the Falcons. Ooh. Trying to apply quite a bit of pressure, but Keme coming through with a beautiful response, instead taking down Teak. Wow. 77k, and Jack Digger also bumping heads over on towards the west. Clear vision looking to push in on Black Hand. Let's see who's going to be the one to walk away with a few additional eliminations to their name. Clear Vision already sat on 5. Blackhand yet to find any. So far, things are looking pretty good. At least for the side of Clear Vision. So Jack Digger now trying their hand across the way. Looking to see if they can maybe try and pressure a little bit into the side of Greedy. But looking at the spread, it is not going to be an easy play for either of these teams. Of course, both squads still locked in on all 4 players. It's a very even trade coming through here. But again, right, that blue zone is going to pressure them. They're going to have to make a lot more of a decisive play. Jack Digger from Mar. Ooh, getting a little bit aggressive. Of course, now that aggression not really paying off. As they will instead get brought to their knees. Melas coming through with a quick cheeky vehicle play. Looking to get the play into Del Hop. But still Toxin hanging in the wing. At least Greedy manages to take on down the opposition now. Plus 18. Gonna come through for a bit of a third party opportunity. Greedy down to 1. Trying to get those razors secured. XENON so close to getting the jump in. And this is going to be quite the important play now for Greedy. Right, especially if they are going to be looking to finish much stronger in this game. Going through. So ready for the day. Greedy sitting on a grand total of 6 points. So they've essentially been able to lock in the exact same amount of points in this one match just based on eliminations as what they've been able to contribute in the previous few matches as well. Ooh, nice nade there. Senke from XENON. We're looking to play a bit of a defensive strat here. We get Greedy just swooping in behind them, but Arab Golden looking to meet them head on as Team Mon gets dropped. It's now down to Mason and Iron. Oh! Mason with a quick hit up onto Senke, but the retaliation, the response coming through from Carry. Quite a bit of back and forth. Iron now having quite a bit of pressure on their shoulders here. Oh, nice nade. Oh, does find a bit of damage, but quick response. Very efficient play coming through from XENON. As they kick Arab Golden to the curb. Now Greedy being presented with a bit of an opportunity here. Still got a Himbo and Toxin left. Del Hop also there to lend a bit of a helping hand. But they're not going to let them walk over them just yet. Lazy and Carry definitely going to try and defend it as best they can. Mo Esports getting sent out in 9th place. But let's see, can Himbo land that nade? Oh, does find a bit of damage. But not sufficiently so. The follow-up could come through. Instead, it's going to be Toxin with the MG3, but a DBS beats them down. As I said, XENON, they're not going to let Greedy walk all over them. XENON sitting with 6 eliminations. Good placement for that nade coming through. Greedy sitting on 7. But who's going to find that play? Well, it seems like this could be the opportunity, the chance now for XENON to get a full clutch, and that is exactly what they do. Lazy Boy with a beautiful nade, ending the run for Greedy. 8 eliminations and a 7th place finish. Now XENON scooting up into 9 eliminations total. Blackhand still caught in quite a bit of a pressure spot, not yet having any eliminations secured. Very tough start to the plays here for Blackhand today. KMA Plaza trying to get out of harm's reach, but instead they do go down, and that is Storm down as well. The entirety of Black Hand will get sent away with nothing but placement points. Now +18. Going to be turning their focus down onto Clear Vision. They do find Van Keert in one shot, and Vito is going to be the last contender left to defend. +18, just kicking up quite a bit of a storm. Let's see whether or not Clear Vision can bounce back. Nice bit of aggressive push coming through here from XENON, but again, you still got to watch out for the Falcons. Oh, Van Keert is down. Vito, one shot. Oh, XENON with beautiful hits. Almost getting taken down themselves. Now, it is all down to one shot to see whether or not they can defend the honor here of Clear Vision. It's going to be a full push coming through from +18. One shot now getting pinched in the corner, and that is it. Nagato coming through, and that is the end. Eflex getting spotted and traded. Down they go. Falcons looking to play a little bit of third-party action here. Teak also creeping all the way up north. Quite a bit of pressure now riding on the shoulders here for +18. Right. You've got to figure a way out of this hole. Falcons not going to let them slide out for free instead. Locking quite a bit of damage onto XENON. So it is going to be the full force of Falcons going toe to toe here with +18. Plus already sitting on 7 eliminations. So very good play. But Falcons and XENON sitting on 10 and 11 eliminations respectively. So, yeah, I think it's going to be between XENON and potentially the Falcons to see who's going to be walking away with that chicken dinner under their belt. +18 also now having a bit of an opportunity here, right? To wait maybe for XENON to move up. To try and bring in a bit of an upset here. Maybe a bit of a saving grace. As the zone is going to be forcing XENON to move on forward. +18 already secured within the zone. So the onus is going to be on XENON to make that play. They do find a bit of reach over on towards Storm. But no surprise really, because Storm still on the outlying regional zone. Not yet pulling back into the safety of the rest of the crew. But they are definitely starting to lay down a few smokes, prepping up for that push. Oh, Nagato playing with fire. Going back for a quick pick up on Storm. XENON going to be holding that front line. But XENON just trickling their way on through. So you can see Senke. Ooh, very exposed up towards the north. AXA just going to be sitting back, kicking out the lawn chair, enjoying the view from up top. Falcons now getting down to business. Right, they're going to be taking engagements on both fronts. +18. Trying to help. Trying to take down XENON so they can finish in second. Ooh, yeah, not the best setup here for XENON to try and work their way through. But the trigger discipline coming through from AXA is going to be looking pretty dang good. Now, Teak, Buncher going to be inching their way on up, flanking around, trying to get the jump in onto with Senke. Out comes that MG3 yet again. Just ripping into the side of XENON. It's now Marshall. Lazy boy trying to defend their honor. Trying to hold on as long as they can. But instead they will get found and down they go. Senke left to carry that XENON torch. A very aggressive strat coming through here from the Falcons. They're looking so confident. And rightly so. They've already got 13 eliminations to their name. Puncher King, though, yet to find an Elam. A quick nade. Just whittling away at the HP bar there of Nagato. Tome, Escanor trying to keep up a little bit of that cover fire. But unfortunately, it's not something they'll be able to sustain for much longer, as the blue zone is going to force their hand. Nagato instead will get dropped. And this now applies quite a bit of pressure on towards Storm and Escanor. Senkei, though, looking to alleviate a little bit of the pressure here. They do find AXA. But still, Psych going to be hanging in the wing. Puncher King all the way over towards the edge. Cheek now knocking on the door. Here's Senkei getting ready. Hearing that MG3 let loose. And then starting to rethink this whole strategy. Is like, you know, maybe not. Oh. Good luck strafing through these shots. But it's going to be a DVS versus the MG3. Just got to wait for that reload. But instead, Senkei goes down. Now Teak can start that 5-minute reload. In the meanwhile, +18. Now having potential victory up for grabs. Oh, good spray, but Escanor will get ended. Torm about to get pushed, and up comes the play, the hit, the spray is there. And that is Falcons White. Swooping in, picking up this third winner chicken dinner. Doing so with a very comfortable 17. Yes, 17 eliminations to their name. What a play, though. Falcons White. Definitely looking to bounce back. I mean, they've been having a little bit of a different approach coming through in our first match of the day, in which they only secured themselves those 7 eliminations, and of course, well, that what was it, 4th place finish, but coming through then instead with 17 eliminations and 32-01 with regards to aggression. I mean, a very, very heavy hand on the Falcon side. So beautiful bounce. That is exactly what we want to see, and that then also puts them on a grand total of well, 40 points, I believe, for the day so far. So, yeah, things are definitely looking pretty exciting, at least on the Falcons' end. I mean, 17 eliminations just in this last match. It is exactly what we need to see. So, I'm curious to see just what the approach is going to be moving through the remainder. I mean, Falcons, yeah, they've been a little bit more docile in the first few games, but definitely bouncing back a lot more aggressively coming through here. And of course, as we know, this was match number 3, so they've got only one more to go. One more match, right? And that is all they have to show. So if Falcons are going to be looking to defend the position against RUKH Esports, well, this last match is going to be exactly that opportunity to see what they can bring on through. And fortunately for them, RUKH Esports are not going to be in game number 4. So, you know, there's a chance for the Falcons to bring in a little bit of that dominance yet again to try and widen the gap as to which, you know, RUKH Esports have been putting in quite a bit of effort to try and close. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what the play is. But of course, in the meanwhile, we are going to be hopping into a few potential highlights from this last match to just relive a few of those amazing moments. But I got to say, Falcons definitely showing us how it is done. So yeah, we are going to be hopping into those replays to just relive a few of these magical plays. But a very challenging zone, though, coming through. And of course, well, that was the cue. Let's go into the action. Well, there we go. There we go. Of course, does seem like the music thing is making a little bit of a funny thing, but it happens. It happens, right? So, yeah, a very exciting match number 3, in fact, coming through on that one. So we are going to be stepping into our total match points. Of course, looking to see who our MVP players are. Also, what our damage versus graph, damage versus elimination graph. What our damage versus graph elimination looks like. Sure, because that's the thing, right? But either which way, we are going to be just waiting for those to come through. We can take a bit of a look at it. Now, speaking of which, we are going to be jumping straight into it here with Psych coming through with our most eliminations as well as most damage. 1136. Wow, lazy boy. Well, they definitely weren't lazy. As you can see, 3 grenade finishes coming through for them, right? Great utilization in that play. So locking in at the longest hit, only 248 meters. Well, no surprise really, because, you know, looking at what the zone brought through, the teams were really condensed up into the action here. And of course, XENON, they've also been doing quite a bit of rotation across the board. So yeah, no surprise to see these numbers being displayed. But we got to see exactly how all of that results into our match points, right? In day 2, we did see 3 of our matches essentially being 10 eliminations with that winner-winner chicken dinner. That's not necessarily been the case here today. We've only seen that happen once in the first match, right? But as you can see, Falcons coming through with a lovely 17 eliminations for 32-01. And then we got XENON coming through on 1934. Just the other day, picking up a lovely 10 eliminations. But the strongest conversion rate is definitely going to lean in favor there of Greedy. No, it's going to go to Clear with 7 eliminations out of only 10-18. So a very, very little amount of wastage coming through there. So well played. Greedy also bringing in quite a bit of work here. Same can be said there for +18. So you got to like what these teams are doing. I mean, definitely very efficient performances. But, well, now we've handled Sanhok. We've handled Erangels. The music seems to be back as well. But now the next thing that we are going to be looking to handle, of course, well, is going to be the leaderboard, right? So let's take a look at it. As we know, Falcons coming through with 27 total points. Those lovely 17 eliminations going a very long, long way. 15 is going to go to the side of XENON, the only other team to hit double-digit eliminations. +18, Clear Vision, walking away on 7 elims apiece for 13 and 10 points, respectively. And then, of course, Greedy, well, trying to stay true to their name, coming through with 8 eliminations total. As a result, Arab Golden, Wave, and 77, and also then RUKH Esports will have to settle for a few donuts, right? Because unfortunately, it's been a top-heavy play. Falcons with those 17 elims definitely did take quite a few opportunities away. I mean, even Blackhand and Superpower were also not able to find themselves any points with regards to eliminations, right? No elimination points coming to them, only placement. So that just shows you how difficult it was to get eliminations the moment Falcons decided, you know what? We're going to get the job done. We're going to show you exactly how to play. And of course, that's what they did, right? 17 eliminations. Definitely one of the highest elimination counts that we've seen in a match, but definitely not the most, right? We have seen higher, but a very, very good attempt coming through from them. Talent Star saying DK and Ginero, both from Africa. You know, I don't know what language Ginero casts in though. But either which way, speaking about languages, right? The other language that we are going to be speaking is potentially kind of Spanish. Because we're going over to Miramar. And as we know, a few of the names are in Spanish. So excited to see what the teams are going to be bringing in as we are going to be venturing over into the desert. Now, for the players in Group A rather, this is going to be the last match of the day, right? The teams coming through is going to be the Falcons, Greedy, Mo, and Wave. So this is match number 4, and it's also their last match of the day. But, well, the last Miramar is going to be the last match for everyone else. But so for the Falcons, if they want to establish themselves back up at the top of the leaderboard, essentially for the day, but also now looking at with regards to the league, right? This phase in particular, they're going to have to try and bring everything they can into this last match, right? As we know, RUKH Esports, they are going to be taking a bit of a break alongside 77, Jack Digger, as well as the players there from Special Esports. So let's see exactly what the flight path and zone is going to be bringing in as we get ready to hop into the action. Ooh, alright, well, we are going to be starting on that southern edge, close to center. In the place with no name in particular, the beach down below. Of course, we are going to be traveling right across Los Leones. But let's see exactly how far up north it is going to take us. Ooh, alright, there we go. Stopping in between Torre Ahumada and Campo Militar. You just missed Proxy. Yeah, Moise, you're not the only one. I missed Proxy too. But there we have it. A nice eastern-centered flight path. So let's see where that zone is going to be going, right? That accompanying phase. Is it going to take us over to the west? Is it going to stay on the east? Is it maybe going to go down to the southern edge? AXA with a... interesting start. Maybe going to be looking for a bit of a vehicle down below. Yep, that's exactly what AXA was looking for. Looking to grab themselves a vehicle. But now the big question comes in is where is that first phase going to be taking us? We've seen a few crazy shifts. We've seen a few comfortable shifts. Ooh, alright. Let me go for a suitable one. It is going to be starting us off over in towards the northwestern side. So, no major compound being center, but it is quite close to Power Grid and San Martin, as well as the potential creative fields in El Pozo. So let's see how the teams are going to be looking to get themselves spread out. Mo, maybe going to be opting for a position close towards the Oasis. Maybe going for the western edge. But either which way, it is going to take a little bit of crafting, right? Curious to see who's going to be rotating up in towards La Cobreria. And XENON definitely not going to be going up in towards Pozo, as they are currently just working their way through that lovely Puerto Pareso. But yeah, Falcons, very determined to get back to their usual location. Axis still exactly where we saw them last. So they did jump into a vehicle and then nothing since. But maybe they should look to regroup back with the rest of the squad. But meanwhile, the team's now going to just working their way through this looting phase. Falcons just testing all their weapons, ensuring that there's no sand clogging the guns as they go about their business here. Yes, this is the last match for the Falcons, Greedy, Mo, and Wave. So Mo, at this current point, they are sitting on 7 points for the day. If you look over onto Wave, Wave are sitting on 8 points for the day. Greedy currently sat on 15 points. And then, of course, Falcons sat on 40 points. So Falcons definitely going to be team up ahead from Group A. But a very quick shift into that zone closure. The blue zone going to start to make its way on through right now. Unfortunately, it does award the teams about 4.5 minutes to get themselves relocated back into the safety of that next zone. So it will allow for quite a few rotations to come through, especially moving all the way up in towards that northwestern side of zone, right? Crater Fields, El Pozo, La Cobreria. Any of those compounds could receive a little bit of attention from these teams that are yet to rotate up. It does seem like Mo could maybe be opting for a little bit of a play closer towards La Cobreria. Storm, of course, now just chasing up behind them a little bit. Meanwhile, Arab Golden are going to be situated all the way over here in towards the lovely Impala. There we have their stats as well. Their average elimination sitting on 3.75. At least this is for this phase, right? Those stats that we're seeing is just this phase alone. But looking at the overall performance on Miramar in general, Arab Golden have been able to secure themselves at least 46 eliminations and 22 placement points for a grand total of 68 points. Now that does put them in 18th with regards to Miramar performance, right? Falcons are going to be the leaders, coming through on 123 eliminations prior to this match. 213 total points, 90 placement points. RUKH sitting on exactly the same amount of eliminations, also 123. but they have only 62 placement points as opposed to the 90 coming through from Falcons White. And that does award them 3rd place, right? Virtual Gaming Squad is going to be the team occupying that 2nd position. Speaking of virtual, we've got them all the way down into the lovely Chumasera. They've got a nice bit of leisure time looking to get themselves properly geared up before starting that rotation, heading further and further up in towards the zone. +18. One of our teams that have been able to secure themselves a bit of a victory here. Winner winner chicken dinner. Coming through with 44 eliminations and 39 total placement points. And those stats that we can see there, of course, being the average across the board, right, for this phase. So for this phase, it seems like Miramar has actually been a lot more kind to the side of +18 in comparison to what we had in phase 1 and 2. Looking at Smash here, they are sitting with an average of 4.5 eliminations for the phase. But they are locked into a grand total of 49 eliminations in total. So the average looking slightly different if you look at all the Miramars that they've played up to this point. Right, so excluding this Miramar, the teams have played, every single team has played 20 Miramars up to this point, as well as 20 Erangels. So quite a few plays of each coming through. Black Hand currently finding themselves on 97 eliminations and 41 placement points. So for this phase, their stats are sitting on an average of 2.5. But for the entire league, they are sitting on an average of 4.85. So this phase, they've not been having as much success over on this map. So let's see if they can maybe look to turn things around. They do find themselves in a slightly congested northern edge of zone. Arab Golden, they are going to be having a nice and tranquil rotation, but they're going to have to fight the blue zone. Fortunately, the blue zone does end relatively close to them. Or at least the phase ends quite close to them, so all they got to do is just break through this current blue. In the meanwhile, there's going to be Superpower and Greedy lining up for a bit of a showdown. Oh, Toxin with a quick run around finds Berlin, and down they go. Superpower now left with Unab, at least up on the top. As White Boy is about to get confirmed on down. So Blyhan looking for a quick pickup here, making their great escape. But where's Superpower going to go though? Well, maybe over towards the east, because there's a lot of room over on towards that eastern side of zone. Things are looking pretty congested right here on the western front. The World of Battle Virtual Gaming Squad also now having a bit of an altercation. It is going to be Castle Black and Black Hand up on the edge of zone. We've seen both these teams go at each other on several different maps. But somehow, they also still managed to find each other. Things looking a little bit tough. If you are Virtual Gaming Squad. They are down to Fares. So not quite sure if Fares is going to be able to carry them all the way to placement point territory. But they're probably going to try. Meanwhile, Ra'ad still having to face off against the World of Battle. Both teams being able to secure themselves elimination so far. But not making any decisive moves just yet. Instead, be weighing up the options. Seems like World of Battle are going to be opting for a little more of a southern approach to get themselves secured inwards. Of course, RUKH could be looking to push straight through the edge of zone. Moving over to clear vision, they are sat here, smack dab center zone. Of course, now the zone is centered up in towards San Martin. So wave, this could be the setup. One single hit over into the vampires. Fares, oh, finds themselves a little bit of psych, but also a little bit of that blue juice just trickling on through. Now it's going to be Puncher and Teak. Yes, sir. Getting ready for a bit of a push, bit of retaliation as they full send it now. Axa, Pusher. Oh, there we go. End of the road. Virtual Gaming Squad, the first team, having to pack up their bags and leave. Now, Mo Esports lurking up on the hill. Vampires instead going to be choosing to go for a more southern positioning. Also looking to play for a little bit of that elevation. You can see RUKH still having quite a bit of opposition here with Smash. Oh, Smash, good spread. Oh, there we have it. Knight, Arif and Ilyas can really look to lock it in. Oh, and that is exactly what they do. Arif landing the last few hits. Helping RUKH back over into the lobby. Beautiful play. But now World of Battle could also look to get their slice of the action. Arthur trying to pull a bit of a distraction here while Krona comes in with a bit of a flank. Looking to wiggle their way through. Mohammed Hazem still quite some distance away, so not quite sure what the approach or play is coming through here from the World of Battle. I mean, if Arthur and Krona decide to push in, they will definitely need all the reinforcements they can muster. In the meanwhile, it is going to be Blackhand and Greedy sharing the lovely Hacienda del Patron. But Hand yet to have a good run. Alright, they've been having a very tough day so far. I mean, things not exactly going according to plan for Hand. So, based on how, they've been playing these first few matches. I mean, they are sitting on only 4 total points. That's it. 4. And that's everything that they've been able to garner so far. 4 points out of 3 matches. Yeah. Not the kind of points that we are accustomed to see come through from them. Falcons, on the other hand, I mean, they found themselves 40 points out of the first 3 matches. How many more are they going to be able to secure moving through this last match? At least for them, alright. You can see now, starting to catch wind of Mo Esports. T keeping a very close eye down on towards Ilyas and the rest of Smash over on towards the southern front. But a wave, clear vision, keeping things nice and quiet as we await that zone shift to come through. Ooh, nice center. Nice center. San Martin is going to be smack dab center zone. So plus 18, the World of Battle Smash, XENON, Arab Golden, Castle Black, Falcons, all now having to take the plunge and just move on forward. Now this is going to be a slightly different city finish to what we see when we move over in towards Los Leones. Right, both regions still essentially cities, but this one just plays a little bit different. So let's see how the Falcons are going to be looking to handle the situation here. Right, so Ab Golden getting pressured quite a bit here by Black Hand. Essentially down to Timon and Mason. Storm trying to close it up, but unfortunately getting stopped in their tracks. Beautiful bounce going through from the nade there. But Keme not getting the exact reach that they would have hoped for. Instead, it is going to be the nades now continuing to come through here from Keme. He's still got to be very wary of Greedy hanging on the ridge. Oh, good play. Good play. Hemo now looking to play a bit of upset, looking to lock in those third-party angles. This is now Greedy trying to gatekeep. So they could find themselves a bit of Timon, and that is exactly what happens. There we go. Hemo quickly just closing that one up. But one down, several more to go. Hand. So far proving that day number 3 has not necessarily been the happiest day for them. Delhop waiting patiently to see how Mozaro and Keme are going to be looking to rotate. They have their footing in that zone. They're not necessarily going to be sending it anywhere else just yet. Right, Greedy focusing the efforts a little bit closer to that zone positioning. Meanwhile, there's going to be clear vision. Trying to see what they can make happen out on the edge. Laihan going to be keeping a nice and quiet spot there as well. And that is going to be their superpower. Falcons now presented with a great opportunity to just strengthen themselves up into that San Martin position. Right, Mo Esports also still going to be holding nice and steady already with 2 eliminations up. As you can see, we got a plethora of teams still locked in on full squads. Of course, there is our leaderboard. RUKH Esports currently sitting on 110 points. Only 9 points ahead of Falcons. The zone going to be sticking to San Martin. So no improvement going through here for Blackhand. Keme, Mozaro, still feeling quite a bit of a pressure position. Greedy now with the optimal opportunity. They can look for elimination number 6 and 7. Hemo already starting to just flank up the edge. Again, testing the water, but a bit of suppression coming through there. Stockton looks to reach in. Making the connections now with Keme. Blackhand trying everything they can think of at this point in time to secure their foothold moving forward. Let's see if they're going to be able to get in successfully. In the meanwhile, the pressure is starting to build over on towards the western side. Vampires and Smash. Falcons now starting with a bit of a play as well. There we go! Castle Black ending it for Blackhand. Wow. Very, very swift reactions coming through on that one. Smash now also feeling quite a bit of the heat. They are going to be holding on with Black lost, just trying to survive up in the compound. And again, this is the difficulty of playing up in towards San Martin. So many different angles you got to watch. Not as much elevation as we have over in towards Los Leones. And that brings its own level of complexity to the battlefield. Now, World of Battle. Looking to take the plunge, looking to get themselves situated, but it's going to be Chrono now identified and isolated. Off they go. Azem looking to hold steady. Falcons at least finding their first elimination so far for this match. But again, things are looking quite challenging. Castle Black feeling a little bit emboldened here as they move up into the side there of Greedy. I do find NASA though. Ooh, SAFG getting spotted as Dalhop comes through with a response. Now it's up to Faker and Ahmed. See if they can maybe find that bit of closure. And at least alleviate the pressure coming through over on towards this northeastern side. But Greedy not looking to go down without a fight. They know at least where two of the players here from Castle Black are currently situated. Now it's going to be up to Faker to look to see if they can maybe rejoin. No, instead, Faker is going to be looking to take the plunge, boldly moving forward. Oh, but a big oops, as they will instead get traded. Quite a bit of an aggressive push coming through here from Greedy. Yes, there we go. They take down Castle Black, now sitting with a grand total of 9 eliminations to their name. A very, very strong finish there from Greedy. Alright, XENON still yet to find their way towards zone. You can see Lazy Boy attempting to secure at least a little bit of a corner piece. While the rest of the team now focuses in onto Wave. Pedro finds the play on towards Blyhan, and that is going to be the end of the road. Vito coming through with a quick knock. Arab Golden also going to be chipped away out there going 10th place. Devoid of placement points and eliminations. Vampires now trying to hold up against the players from Falcons. But it is a 2v3. Oh, Teak just stepping up, locking it down. Now Hazard about to get tested. Let's see whether or not Hazard can hold their own. Out comes the sprays. There's going to be shotties all over the place, but the Molly gets the upper hand. And down they go. Vampires out of 9th, 2 eliminations up. Falcons now in a position. Cause a little bit of carnage, a little bit of mayhem. The world of battle out with 2 elims. And now this is where things look to get quite interesting as we do say goodbye to Wave as well. So 4 teams already falling in just the last few seconds, as we are left with only 6 teams to defend. But who will be the team to secure themselves that winner chicken dinner? Oh, nice play there from Senke. Smash, out they go, 5 elims up. Mo Esports going to be one of our only few remaining teams towards that center zone. Of course, now showing the position here with clear vision. Oh, good play by Pedro. Wow. Sneaking through the crack. Van Kit now going to be trying to make a play over on towards Greedy, as they too try to get themselves secured a little bit closer towards that center region. Delhop, NASA, going to be riding the ridge. Meanwhile, XENON still perched on high. If the zone moves to the north, that is going to cause quite a few problems now for XENON. Blue zone is going to be closing up. Let's see where it'll be taking us next. Mo Esports, though, already with 4 eliminations up. So far, this Miramar is working out exceptionally well for them. They've made it up into top 5. Irrespective of how the rest of this match goes, Mo Esports are going to be feeling quite happy and quite pleased. Greedy, not exactly in the same kind of position here. Still trying to find a bit of a way, a bit of an approach to get themselves up into this next phase. XENON going to come flying down the hill, looking to crash in alongside Clear Vision. Marshall, Carry Boy getting ready for the upset. Lazy Boy coming in. Full send now coming through from XENON. They want this compound. They need this compound. But will they have it? A little bit of a vehicle glitch happening there as well. But let's see. Will XENON get the jump in? Are they going to find it? Patiently awaiting the angles. Ooh, Vortex though getting spotted by Puncher. Right, so Vortex is down. Mo, no, getting reduced down to 3 players. XENON still looking for a way. Find the angles. Instead, it's going to be Senkei getting dropped to their knees. Hainsley also now getting spotted. It's now down to Elisio and Pedro. Unless, of course, they can bring Hainsley back on their feet. They're not yet succeeding in finding the push up into clear vision. But Clear Vision expecting the inevitable to come through anytime soon. They do, however, find the finish onto Senkei. And Lazy Boy trying to create a bit of an opportunity. Because all they need at this point is just a knock to happen. But then a quick response can be through there from one shot. Focus. VanKid definitely could still make quite a bit of an upset happen here. XENON sitting with 7 elims up. Oh, Elisio reaching in, finding Marshall. This could be the go sign, the signal that Clear Vision now needs to rush on in, and that is exactly what they do, getting ready to jump. Oh, Lazy Boy having to defend, but it is Clear Vision just focused in on target, trying to get the sprays, the plays, but will they succeed? Yes, drum shot. Quick drop, and that is it. VanKid just very narrowly taking down XENON. So Greedy already up to 11 eliminations. We got FALCONS, we got Mo, and then of course, Clear Vision. So far, this is proving to be one of the best matches that we've seen come through from the side of Mo Esports. Super excited to see how this one is going to end for them. Clear Vision are going to be holding on to a 2-piece. So that is limiting their options. Seeing that they've got VanKid and Focus left. Mo down to 3. Greedy, the only team still locked in on a full squad. Let's see whether or not they're going to be capitalizing on this number advantage. Meanwhile, Hainsley, Pedro, Elisio. They're keeping it nice and quiet. Focus does find the play on towards Delharp. Looking to even the playing field. Oh, VanKid. Narrow escape on that one. Alright, but Greedy. They're going to find themselves all the way in stage 9. Right, there's not going to be any zones after this. Blue zone is going to start closing up in the next 2 minutes. So whatever these teams are looking to do, they better get it done. FALCONS now going to get pressured, spotted, and played as Pedro finds quite a bit of damage up into Puncher. Not getting that knock just yet. FALCONS going to try and trickle their way up. Ooh, nice one. Hainsley finds the play onto Axa. Now it's down to Puncher and Teague. Hainsley coming through with yet another nade. Unfortunately, hitting that palm tree. So not allowing that nade to go where they would have wanted it. VanKid now going to try and push on up. Teague does spot them out, but Puncher King goes down as well. Mo Esports on fire. FALCONS down to Teak. Mo still holding on with 3 players. Puncher King getting confirmed. VanKid is down. Greedy getting ready to contest as they start to move on forward. Mo already up to 6. Greedy double that. Down goes Teak, and that is the end of the Falcons. Mo Esports in contention for a winner chicken dinner. NASA is down. Toxin just on the front line, but the nade does bring Elisio to their knees. Now quicker response coming through as Hemo gets dropped. Delhop riding the edge. Pedro trying to see if they can get that assistance up into Hainsley. Potentially a 3v2, but for the time being it's a 2v1. No, instead it is a 3. Yeah, there we go. Greedy closing it up. Mo Esports finishing in second place with 8 eliminations to their name. Greedy coming through with a very comfortable winner chicken dinner. 15 eliminations to accompany that lovely chicken all the way through. What a play though. Greedy just showing up so aggressively. I mean, this was one of the best Miramars that they too have played. 27-46. Wow. Only taking 13-51. Pretty good effort here. Gotta say though, I mean, this was quite the impressive Miramar. I mean, Mo Esports making it into second place. Second place, finishing with 8 eliminations to their name. That is insane. I mean, they got more eliminations than FALCONS got. They got more eliminations than XENON got. Right? The only team that beat Mo with eliminations was Greedy, and Greedy got the winner chicken dinner. So, well done to Greedy. Well done to Mo. I mean, that was the best Miramar from both those teams that we've seen, I believe, in this entire event. So, well played to them, but let's relive a few of these amazing moments. Well, there's only one thing that I can say about Mo Esports in that game. You know, c'est magnifique. No, it was the best match that we've seen from Mo Esports to date in this entire league. So I want to see more of that, right? They've now shown that they've got the capability. We want to see more. I mean, yes, they waited all the way till phase 3 to surprise us with these plays, but what a very well-deserved position indeed coming through from them. As you can see them locking in 1675 worth of damage and finding themselves 8 eliminations out of that. Greedy coming through on 27-46. And, well, resulting in 15 eliminations. It's not every day that you see Mo Esports just essentially beating the rest of the lobby with eliminations. So, I am so impressed. Well freaking done, Mo Esports. XENON coming through with impressive play as well. 7 eliminations, 1973. And, of course, FALCONS also packing quite a bit of heat. Similar to what Clear Vision brought in, but, you know, FALCONS just packing even more of that. So, very exciting stuff coming through from our teams here. But now we got to see, of course, what that leaderboard looks like, right? And, yeah, you got to take a picture of this. Mo Esports coming through on 14 points. All the way in second. Greedy going through on a lovely, luscious 25. And then, of course, FALCONS and XENON securing themselves 10 points apiece. Obviously, different approaches to get themselves secured to that. But still exciting nonetheless. Clear Vision then on 9. We got Smash coming through with a 5 eliminations. And of course, if we take a look at the rest of the board, Arab Golden, Superpower, and Virtual Gaming Squad finding themselves at the lower end of the board, right? Getting sent back with, unfortunately, not a single bit of action. Only bubbles. That's all they get. Just bubbles. But, you know, very surprising, especially looking at Virtual Gaming Squad. I mean, they are essentially our second strongest team when it comes to this map. So, very surprised to see that being the result. But, you know, it happens sometimes. It happens. But let's take a look at a bit of a head-to-head here between Toxin and VanKid coming through from Clear Vision and Greedy. As you can see, 844 at least then for the side of Toxin, resulting in 70 eliminations, and VanKid only getting 2 elims, but still managing to lock in 617. So very strong efforts coming through from both these players. But we got to see, of course, what these teams are going to be doing moving into our last one of the day. Right, so we've now seen what this Miramar could bring. And of course, Mo Esports closing their day, match number 4, on a very strong note for themselves. So well played. Of course, Mo closing up the day with 21 total points. Very, very successful run indeed. 14 of those points, of course, coming in just this last match. So very excited to see, of course, what tomorrow will bring for them. But in the meanwhile, we're going to be turning our focus over onto match number 5, right? The last one of the day. Now, FALCONS White, they've also closed up their last bit of action here. As you can see, Teak and Axa essentially locking in the majority of the eliminations here. Puncher, though, coming through with the most damage. 784. That is an immense amount. Nearly 8 eliminations worth of damage being caused just by them alone. And, well, they have been able to find themselves those 4 assists as well. So, definitely FALCONS, no strangers when it comes to playing aggressively. And oddly enough, we only saw those 5 eliminations come through. But as we know, FALCONS, they can make up for that quite easily, right? But yeah, that is it for them at least, right? They've now played match number 4. So now we get to see what the rest of the lobby is going to be doing moving into this last game, right? So, we're, of course, going to be having the players from 77K, Jack Digger, as well as RUKH Esports, and Special joining us on the battlefield for the last game. So if you've got any potential predictions as to what you think the outcome could be sure to let me know in the chat. Now, so far today, we've seen FALCONS securing themselves 50 points. So they ended off on a pretty strong note. XENON, on the other hand, they've been able to secure 30 points so far. But, of course, they still have one more match to go. So they could still look to bring in a bit of an upset here, right? We do have another bit of an upset with regards to our leaderboards as well. But there's a bit of a tie happening on the board. I'm not quite sure if you can figure out which tie I'm talking about, but there's 2 ties, at least from what I can see. But yeah, we'd love to hear what your thoughts are, so be sure to hit us up on social media. You can reach us on Facebook, on YouTube, TikTok, as well as on Instagram, right? So be sure to include the hashtag there for hashtag PMPL Africa. And tell us, what do you think of the team's performances so far? And of course, who do you think is going to be the team to walk away with the title? Right, who's going to be the one to end at the top of this league stage? Because so far it seems like things are getting quite hot and heated, and there's only currently 26 points separating first from second with regards to our overall leaderboard. Right, so only a 26-point difference. Then there's quite a bit of a gap, 118-point drop off to slot number 3. But of course, looking at the phase, well, there is a tie. Right, there's a tie right at the top of the board. So first and second place is tied. And the one team has 3 chickens. The other one has only 1. So maybe you can figure out who I'm talking about. But of course, we'll see that once we hop in game because, well, the results are going to be there as well. In the meanwhile, if you got any thoughts, any predictions as to what you think the flight path and zone is going to be doing, be sure to let me know as we get ready to hop straight onto the action to see where that flight path is going to be going, and of course what these teams will have to do to get themselves that winner chicken dinner. So only a few moments away from seeing exactly what this match will bring, and all without any further delay, we are going to be getting ourselves right into the action. So here we go. One of the few instances we see on Miramar. The zone is going to be starting over on the west. It is nearly perfectly horizontal, finding its way across the way, crossing beyond Picado, Power Grid, Graveyard, Monte Nuevo, all the way over on towards the west. So this is cutting right through that map. So let's see where the teams are going to be looking to get themselves situated. Are they going to go for the usual locations? Or are they going to look to maybe bring a little bit of spice into the last match here for day number 3. We're also going to be patiently awaiting that zone to be revealed. Is it going to be complementary to this flight path? Is it going to maybe look to throw a bit of a spanner in the works? Where will it take us? There's our leaderboard. So RUKH Esports and FALCONS White, both teams sitting on 110 points. But this is the opportunity for RUKH Esports to widen that gap. Also, the zone has popped down in towards that southwestern side. Chumacera almost being sent to zone, but not quite there just yet. But let's see how these teams are going to be looking to accommodate for the zone. Well, we see a few early pushes coming through towards well, that more centralized region. RUKH Esports now going to be looking to get themselves back up into Cruz del Valle to go about their looting business. RUKH very excited. Cannot wait to get themselves secured and looted up, right? Meanwhile, Special Esports find themselves all the way over in towards Al Azhar. Ramsey bumping into a few walls. At least going head first. They've got a helmet on, so I'm not all too worried about that. Right, Jack Digger also all the way over in towards Impala. Very uncontested position to get themselves looted up. I think the teams might be looking to take a slightly different approach moving through this match, right? Keeping their distance as long as they can before having to start to rotate forward. I mean, 77k, they've also got a very comfortable rotational pathway, especially if they stick to the coastline. You can see them very comfortably moving up in towards this next phase. Smash team already well secured. They are going to be looking to venture further and further inwards. Are they going to aim all the way up in towards Valle del Mar? Maybe even in towards Minas del Valle? Oh, we don't quite know. But based on what we are currently looking at, it does seem like they might be trying their hand at a little bit of that Valle del Mar. Seeing that we don't have the Falcons here, it is going to be open for the taking. So the long trek as they make their way all the way across. And aside from rotation, I mean, there's not much else happening, right? We do potentially maybe have Arab Golden encroaching on Picado, which is already occupied by the World of Battle. Clear Vision also maybe aiming in that direction. So you could have a bit of contention going through there. Plus 18 now just on the northern side there of Los Leones. But Los Leones also pretty vacant. Right, the World of Battle. Still enjoying the peace and tranquility they have here. But we've actually seen one of the players there from Arab Golden, Neutron, moving up much, much closer So they could be prepping for a bit of a test here. Let's see whether or not that is going to be the play, though, as Neutron now looks to dip out of dodge. Special moving up on the plateau. Get clear vision just up ahead of them. So the team's now starting to take occupancy of the zone itself, right? Smash all the way down in Valle del Mar. RUKH going for the hills just south there of La Driera. XENON going for a little bit more of a western positioning. But again, I think they could also maybe be looking for these hills. Or if they're feeling a little bit bold, maybe rotate down in towards Valle del Mar. But that is going to mean that they'll be bumping heads with Smash. Alright, so RUKH. Ooh, nice bit of elevation. Good vantage point to be holding as we are about to see the end of our first stage come through. Blue zone only about 30 seconds away from closing up. Initially, the blue zone started to close up quite slowly, but now it is going to be picking up quite a bit of pace here. As you can see, 77k plus 18. Special, RUKH in hand. Yet to find their way on forward. But RUKH, they're not going to be looking to make any major upsets, at least not right now, because, you know, as we can see, they are essentially tied with FALCONS White, so I think the aim of the game here for RUKH is going to be to secure themselves well up into that late stage, and of course, now with the zone shifting aggressively over towards the west, ooh, they're going to have to be very careful with that rotation. But this is a great chance now for XENON to get the zone under lockdown. They can look to leverage all the elevation, all the angles, as they can see the teams coming from far, far away. Ooh, alright. Up comes the world of battle. Trying to filter the way through a little bit of that Chumacera. But I think essentially for this match, we are going to be looking at our top performing teams here, right? The ones that have historically been our top performers. So teams like Virtual, RUKH, Clear Vision, XENON, maybe even Special Esports. Special Esports, of course, one of those teams that can do with a bit of a winner-winner chicken dinner. They've not yet been able to secure one of those. Not on this map. Let's see, maybe the last match of day number 3 could be exactly what they need. Smash now going to be venturing up, finding themselves in quite a bit of a contentious position. They got Virtual, they got XENON, Jack. All very, very close to them. And with that, it is going to be Black Lost. The first one down as Fares follows through with a good play. Mostar getting that confirmation. Now it's going to be Knight, Arif, and Elias on high. They can now actually look to leverage a bit of this mountainous region here. Creating a bit of a buffer. A bit of a barrier. Can't exactly say the same around towards this eastern side of zones. We got Vampires, the World of Battle. We got Castle Black and Arab Golden. All sat alongside each other, looking to secure their side of the zone. But RUKH Esports also getting ready for a push. A bit of a rotation. Meanwhile, it's going to be Black Hand up north. They got Clear Vision. Ooh, but look at that, right? Already a big chunk of the zone is going to be unplayable area. Right, these teams can't move further beyond the angle in which we see XENON. Right, that entire western side. You can't get there. Right, so now Superpower up north. Ooh. VanKid already getting dropped. The Zoro is going to be centering up on XENON though. This could be a beautiful opportunity for them. RUKH Esports still going to have to play it a little bit more cautiously coming through on that edge as they are rotating up alongside the Vampires. Meanwhile, +18 now going to fall victim to the spray here as Virtual Gaming Squad start to take aim. Hand and Clear Vision also having a little bit of a bumpy ride. Yeah, Black Hand having a very tough day so far. I mean, prior to this match, they've been only able to secure themselves 6 points. Ooh, are they going to find some more? Currently sitting with 7 because they've got that elimination. Ooh, yeah. Laihan just needs one more attempt, at least to find Plaza. Keme and Storm not really going to be looking to come through with much of a response. Meanwhile, Superpower now pinching in onto the side here of Black Hand. Clear Vision moving in from that southern side. Very uncomfortable position indeed coming through for Black Hand. Oh, Keme getting spotted and down they go. Quick trade here. Alpha Logi gotta get themselves patched up. And now the performance here of Hand solely reliant on Storm. Alright, so the cleanup crew now being called to the location. Let's see whether or not Superpower are going to be able to get the job done. That white boy just up ahead. Oh, nice play from Storm though. 1 down, 2 more to go. Yep, and there we have it. Superpower getting the finishing blows. And that is Black Hand though, out with 4 eliminations up. So at least, well, you know, we've got 4 additional points now being awarded to Black Hand. Bringing them all the way up to 10. But definitely not the kind of play that we were expecting to see. Essentially getting themselves 7 eliminations. 3 placement points. A very, very tough day for Black Hand. Meanwhile, the world of battle. Ooh, flying all over the place. Arthur securing that first elim. Oh, now the vehicle on the runaway. Quick conversion there as it does go up in flames. Krona now going to have to keep up with the vehicle as it slides down the hill. Vampires in the meanwhile will get sent away. The rest of all the battle also now joining in the fray, looking to see if they can maybe find those plays down on towards Castle Black. But again, a very, very challenging position to move through. Meanwhile, it's going to be RUKH Esports. Ooh, only finding themselves 1 point. Just 1. Well, at least they needed 1 point to get ahead of Falcons. Right? That's what they needed. So we'll see what the result is at the end of the match. Meanwhile, it's going to be 77k. Also still having to battle their way through the lovely Valle del Mar. Jack Digger going to be locked in on towards this western side. Great bit of a gatekeep opportunity here now for Jack. Alright, 77k as we've seen already here today. Not necessarily a team to be messed with, right? They did pitch up quite aggressively in our first Erangel of the day. Coming through with those 10 eliminations. So let's see what the result will be over here. Are they going to be able to find a few more? We've got A9Q also now joining us on the battlefield. Thor taking a bit of damage, tanking a little bit of the carnage here. Well, Fajita and the rest of the crew gets ready for the jump in on Jack. Melas now trying to get that res secured. While the rest of Jack now, they've headed up towards the zone. So still a very, very spread out engagement coming through between 77 and Jack. But so far, seems like things are leaning a little bit more in favor of Jack Digger. A9Q, Kakao, the final two hopefuls now left for 77. We do say goodbye to +18 as XENON has been found and swept away. Special Esports also now down to Ramsey. But not the most opportune position to play from. Virtual Gaming Squad secured within the zone. But again, not the easiest position to defend. Marshall getting a little bit cheeky down on towards that southern side as they started to rotate up with the vehicle. Ramsey now getting traded as well. And that is, of course, now quite a bit of disaster here for Special Esports. At least, though, finding 4 eliminations. The World of Battle trying to pick up the pace. Gonna have to try and push as the blue zone is going to be closing in. Carry Boy having a very comfortable spot on towards that western side. No one going to be looking to bring any upsets of any kinds just yet. One shot also trying to play a nice quiet game. But as the zone now centers up, it is going to be XENON with a very, very graciously blessed position here. 77 also going to meet their end. RUKH going to be the predicted victors to come through. So let's see if that is going to be happening for them. RUKH already sitting on 5 eliminations for this match so far. A very secluded spot up towards the northern side of zone. Meanwhile, Erangel in the World of Battle. Ooh, trying to face off. That nade seems like it's overreached ever so slightly. Krona now going to be looking to ride the edge. Reno, and meanwhile, will get found. As the solo there from Clear Vision brings in the upset. One shot, finding Fever. Yep, that is not ideal for RUKH. But, well, from what we can see, they did manage to take them down. Down to the final 8 we go now. The World of Battle still going to be trying to push up onto Erangel. Starting to climb the hill. Neutron coming in with a bit of an off-angle play. They do find Hazem, but down they go. Iron getting traded as well as Castle Black comes through with a great assist. Erangel out with 4 eliminations. Jack Digger going to be following suit, but getting sent back with 2 elims to their name. Now Castle Black looking to jump in at the opportunity here. They're going to see if they can find that third-party play. Arthur, Krona trying to defend. But they are going to get tested, pushed upon. Oh, the third-party hits coming through as XENON reaches in as well. Castle Black, 1 player standing between them and possession of the eastern side. But up comes the sprays though. Smash! Bring in quite a bit of a contribution as we do say goodbye to the World of Battle. Castle Black now in a world of trouble. They got Smash and Virtual as well as XENON looking to apply quite a bit of pressure. Great vantage point being held there by Smash. But will the zone allow them to maintain that position? You can see Senke also perched on high. As we do say goodbye to yet another team. RUKH, very quiet up towards the north. XENON, we only see Marshall and Senke looking to cause a little bit of trouble on the edge here. Oh. The rest of the participants there from XENON. Situated all the way over on towards the western side, right? That is Carry Boy and Lazy Boy. Meanwhile, Fares getting knocked on down. Hulk, Amjid, Mosa. Are they going to be able to maybe wrap their way back into the zone? Got to be very, very careful. The terrain not going to allow too much of a sneak to come through. You can see Smash also now just looking to rain down with a little bit of their own carnage. Ilias with a Winchester. Might as well, right? Why not? XENON now being in full possession of the zone. Does apply quite a bit of pressure to our outlying teams here. So Fares and the rest of Virtual Gaming squad finding themselves with a bit of an uphill battle. Marshall, Senke looking very confident out on the edge here. You can hear those vehicles now rotating up, and a little bit of the confidence there from Marshall. Getting second guess as they do double back. Looking to retreat back into a little bit of that hard cover, but you gotta watch out. Lazy Boy looking to get themselves set up. Oh, that is exactly what now comes through as Most now starts to slide down the hill. G trying to push on forward. But a quick rethink coming through there from Virtual Gaming. And a Smash team going to try and gatekeep the side there of Raad up towards the north. Meanwhile, Mostar getting met with a beautiful hit. Lazy Boy still on the very edge of the map. Looking to play a little bit of cover fire. Ooh, yep. That's not going to work out quite just yet. As Fares does find the play. Fever getting knocked down as well. So great gatekeep attempt coming through there from Smash, but they do lose yet another player. Carry Boy also just going to be scouting out the area. A Smash, they've been brought down to 1. It's going to be Ilias making a run for it. Raad already up to 8 eliminations here. I'm curious to see between XENON and Raad, which team is going to be the one to take it. As we know, Raad is the predicted victors, as my Arabic counterparts have called them out to be taking the chicken dinner right here. I mean, they definitely have the numbers advantage. Ooh, but they don't necessarily have any positional advantage. Not quite just yet. I think it's all going to come down to this last few plays. Lazy Boy, I think, is going to pose quite a bit of a threat. Not quite sure how Lazy Boy was able to get all the way up top. Maybe utilizing a vehicle to climb that cliff. Now Marshall and G here going to be doing a little bit of a dance, a bit of back and forth. There we go. Yep, you can alleviate Lazy Boy. That would allow for quite a bit of a play now to come through here from Virtual Gaming Squad. Ilias about to get pincered. Because they're not on the one side, Raad on the opposite. Virtual Gaming Squad now being put on a bit of a back foot. Not having any ground within the zone just yet. Raad still having that full squad. And of course, they are leading with regards to eliminations here as well. Still, you got to watch out here for Fares, as they are going to be looking to make, or at least clear a bit of a pathway moving forward. But XENON, they are just gatekeeping the living heck out of Virtual Gaming Squad. Marshall starting with the opener. Bringing Amjid down on their knees. Hulk now about to get met with a bit of a molly. Oh, and down they go. Fares now going to be the last hopeful left here for Virtual Gaming Squad. But Marshall is right there on their doorstep, ready to just bring in the upset, bring in the aggression, and send them back into that lobby. Oh, quick play there from Fever. They do bring the total teams now down to 3. Smash, at least finding themselves one elimination. Up comes again with a bit of a nade. Oh, you gotta watch out. Oh, again with a double tap. Or Carryboy rather with a double tap onto again. Raad now moving in single file. Very treacherous region to play in. Gotta watch out for all these different angles. Fara is now all the way down below. So there could still be a little bit of hope now coming through for Virtual. But the big play is going to come through between XENON and Raad. Right, you got K-Boy, Marshall right on the front line. Daisy Boy reaching in on the side. Moving down from their high perch, but this is quite a challenging angle to fight out of. Zuxi down on their knees, right? It's up to Reno and Fivo. XENON are starting to pick up the pace. 2v3v1. So XENON now turning the tables, having the numbers advantage. Still a very controlling presence within the zone. Fares, as we know, no stranger to a bit of a challenge. But the DBS is going to end it right there for Virtual Gaming Squad. How they go? 6 eliminations up. So XENON now up to double digits. You can see them sitting quite comfortably on 11. Raad sitting on 9. It's now a 2v2 showdown for the final winner-winner chicken dinner available here today. Who's going to be the one to clutch up? Is it going to be XENON? Is it going to be the side of Raad? Raad, they've been outperforming XENON with regards to total eliminations and total placement points. So based on statistics alone, Raad should have this one in the bag. There's about a 20-point difference between these two teams based on their overall Miramar plays. Let's see who's going to be the one to lock in that chicken. I mean, XENON feeling very, very confident here. Right, they've got the numbers advantage. They've got the zone possession. Raad, they don't have either of that. Now the blue zone starting to close on up. Raad going to have to play a very, very careful game. Oh, but Reno finds the trade. Marshall down. Carry Boy still going to be holding nice and steady. Quite reliant on Lazy all the way from that far western side. But the blue zone does get the better of them. Now it has thrown into a 1v2. Raad now having the numbers advantage. A quick nade over the top. Is going to be pushing Carry Boy back just a slight little bit. That, of course, being a flashbang. And now is the opportunity. Fivo has gone down. Reno comes in, and that is it. Raad securing themselves the winner-winner chicken dinner. Wow. What a play, though. Raad, XENON, both teams ending the day. Ending the last match on 11 eliminations each, but Raad finishing on 1650 with regards to their damage and taking quite a bucket load of it as well. As you can see, 1153. So a very, very tough play coming through on this very last Miramar of the day, very last match of the day, in fact. And of course, well, XENON just narrowly missing out on the opportunity. I mean, they moved into that last bit of zone, having the numbers advantage, right? They had the 3 players up, but Lazy Boy getting taken down by the blue zone. And as we saw, that head up front coming through onto, I believe that was Marshall as well, really does turn the situation around. And of course, unfortunately, well, for XENON, right, Raad was able to, again, gain the favor, move up and close it out. So very, very exciting bit of action coming through. And of course, well, let's relive a few of these amazing moments. Let's take a look at the highlights. Well, there we go. Another day, another match done. And of course, well, that was the final match right here for day number 3. Very, very exciting way to close it up. Of course, we had our back-to-back Miramars, back-to-back Erangels, and of course, we started it all off with a little bit of that crazy Sanhok action. So far, the weekend is off to an interesting start, right? We did see quite a strong play coming through across the board. Not as top-heavy as we had back in day 2, where we saw RUKH finishing on 74 points or 72 points, but instead, things have changed up quite a bit here, moving through the action. As you can see, RUKH, XENON, both teams securing themselves 11 eliminations, but XENON being an absolute menace. 27-48 with regards to the damage there. A very heavy hand being dealt by the side of XENON. Virtual Gaming Squad also bring in quite a bit of contribution to the carnage here on 1889. But RUKH, they are going to be the team to secure themselves the highest conversion rate, 11 eliminations out of only 1650. And of course, Smash also doing quite a bit of smashing, right? 1251, but only finding themselves 1 elimination. That is unfortunate, but it is what it is at the end of the day. And of course, we also then did see the players there from the World of Battle finishing on 1222, finding themselves those 6 eliminations as well. So also a very strong effort being brought forward by the players there from the World of Battle. Speaking of which, let's take a look at this leaderboard. It is going to be 21 points awarded to the side of RUKH. XENON walking away with 17. Then, of course, Virtual Gaming Squad closing off our double digits here, coming through on 11. The World of Battle with those 6 eliminations, still finding themselves at least 8 total points. And then, of course, Smash, Arab Golden walking away on 5 apiece. Castle Black rising up to 6. A very even contribution to those points. And, of course, you can see Superpower and Hand picking up those 4 points alongside the players there from Special Esports, all coming through from their eliminations. And unfortunately, Clear Vision, 77k, and the Vampires are not going to be able to secure any points for this last match. Now, that does change things a little bit. I mean, Vampires, they've also been having a little bit of a tough run. In totality for today, they've only been able to secure themselves 9 points, which is not exactly ideal, but, you know, it happens. 77k, they conclude their day with 23 points. But, of course, then we also saw the players there from Clear Vision, right, ending their day on 20 points total. Now, that is essentially across the board for everything that we've seen happen for them. But, yeah, we are going to be taking a look at those leaderboards potentially as well, just to get a good idea as to what could have happened based on this last match, right? As we know, we did have a bit of a fight between RUKH and FALCONS for pole position of the map, of the league. But we'll get into that hopefully pretty soon to see exactly what the situation is. In the meanwhile, we are going to be taking a look at the head-to-head here between LazyBoy and Zuxi. Both players finding themselves 5 eliminations. But XENON packing a little bit more of a punch, right? Coming through on 815 damage versus the 565 coming through there from Zuxi. So very even play between them. The only extra addition there being LazyBoy's additional points they've been able to secure, right, with regards to those damage markers. But a very, very tough match though, as you can see, the terrain being quite testing, quite trying, and these players trying everything they have in their arsenal to secure a bit of a position, to secure those points. But as we know, XENON packing quite a bit of damage. As you can see, Carryboy coming through with an immense amount of that. And LazyBoy, well, they've locked in 815 damage, purely based on their positioning within the zone. As we know, right, we had Marshall and Senke up on the front line, being an absolute menace, firing at everyone ahead of them. But LazyBoy perched on the edge of the map, managing to reach across the way, securing those 5 eliminations and 815 damage, and only taking 63. So, yeah, that speaks volumes as to what LazyBoy has been able to do, and just how big of a big brain strat that position was, right? Because I think it's the first time I've actually seen a player managing to make it all the way up to that particular spot. So, yeah, very well played to them. But, of course, now we are awaiting patiently to see whether or not we are going to be having a look at those leaderboards. Because from what I can see, we've had quite a few attempts come in. And, of course, the answer to the question is yes! RUKH, they have climbed to the tippity top. 119 points. That winner chicken dinner, serving them so exceptionally well. RUKH and FALCONS, of course, well, we know who beat who, right? RUKH finding that 1 point in the last match does award them second place, with FALCONS then secured all the way up into third. But as we take a look on towards that second page, this is where we can see things also looking to tie up a little bit there, right? Black Hands, Special Esports, both teams sat on 59 points apiece. But a big majority of the shifts that we've seen was on that first page, right? Arab Golden also moving up one slot into 16th. We did see the players from Virtual Gaming Squad moving one up into 8th place. XENON jumping up 2 positions into 4th. And RUKH, of course, with that beautiful play, 3 slots up into pole position. So great way to close off the proceedings, at least for today. 21 points going over to the side there of Castle Black. As you can see, they and Jack Digger pretty consistent with regards to those placements, finding themselves 4 so far. Jack coming through, though, with 20 eliminations, and Castle Black coming through with 17. Mo having a glorious run here today, as we saw in our first Miramar of the day. I mean, they were able to secure themselves a 2nd place finish, and things looking pretty dang exciting for them. Of course, Mo secured up in 18th position with 30 total points. So I'm quite excited to see what the teams are going to be bringing in moving through tomorrow's matches. But of course, well, we need to take a look and see who our MVP is. It is going to be none other than Senke with 11 eliminations and 27.89 with regards to the damage here. It's a good play coming through for Senke. GG, well done. It's been a tough day. I mean, the highest points we see earned for a team here today is 50 points, right? So Falcons locked in on 50. XENON walking away with 47. So as we know, at least 11 of those points coming through from the helping hand here of Senke. Now, XENON only securing themselves also then 14 placement points in total for the day. So adding all the rest in, you know, great effort being brought through from the players, locking in the aggression. But yes, as I've said, a much more balanced day, actually, right? Our top 4 teams, actually very close with regards to points. So we got Falcons White coming through on 50, XENON coming through on 47, RUKH coming through on 44, and then, of course, we've got the players from Greedy coming in on 40 points for the day. So very exciting stuff, but of course, well, it all leads us to day number 4. Now, as we know, moving into tomorrow, we are going to be heading into Erangel Day, right? So we are going to be playing 3 Erangels, so match 1, 3, and 4 are going to be our Erangels, and of course we'll be having only 1 Miramar, and obviously the 1 Sanhok coming in. But tomorrow we're going to be ending the day on Sanhok instead of starting the day with Sanhok like we did just now. So yeah, match 1 is going to be Erangel, 2 is going to be Miramar, double dose of Erangel for 3 and 4, and then of course a little bit of that sweaty jungle action to close off the proceedings. So be sure not to miss out on anything. We look to see you all back again tomorrow. So until then, stay fresh, stay frosty, and we'll see you all back again very soon.